Howdy ho, good neighbors. Happy Tuesday. Hope everybody had a great day today. This is Phil Russert, and it's Creatorcon Q&A. It's actually episode 24. Can't believe we've reached this far so quickly. So thank you for everybody that's been supporting so far. And of course, we have another great guest tonight that we'll get into in a moment. Before we do, again, I just want to say thank you, everybody, for the great birthday wishes. I was really humbled and appreciative, so thank you. You made the day even better for me. I also just want to remind you that December 6th, we have our show, Suffolk Comic Nerd Expo, which will be 10 to 6, and it will be COVID clean. We will take care of you, and we will be good, okay? I'm a nurse. I know infection control, and we'll do the right thing. Our guest will be there, too, by the way, and we'll get into that later. I also want to do my usual shout-outs for everybody. We have Andy Lee with lesdudis.com, www.lesdudis.com, everything pop culture and everything geek culture. Please go check that out. Andy's a great guy. He is also responsible for all of my promo images, so thank you, Andy. For your comic needs, we have Mad Titan Comics at MadTitan_comics on Instagram, and Eric Gunderson, who is the owner and operator on Facebook. We have It Came From the Radio, which is an online radio show hosted by Mark Torres. He has a great group of guys with him, and they have a very informative show, everything pop culture and indie culture. So please go check that out. They're on every platform possible. And finally, we have Enrique Lopez. If you go to Enrique's Instagram page at Studio Main EFL, Studio MAEN-EFL, every Monday night at 8 p.m., he has Inking with Kike, which is his show. He will ink live with a special guest, and they chat. So please go check that out. I'm also going to be placing his website in the chat as far as where you can go for his work. He has Stupendous out right now, and he will have Horrendous out soon, which is an anthology book. So I have Stupendous. I'm going to do a review on it soon, so please check that out. Before we get to our guest tonight, I want to ask everybody to please share this live, give some love to our guest, and some attention and exposure, and let's just have a good time. So share this live, share it out to everybody, start some watch parties, let's have some fun. Having said that, tonight I have with me, he's an inker and artist. He's had inking credits on DC for Justice League, Batman and Robin Eternal, Cyborg, The Flash, Aquaman. He's done work for Marvel properties. He's an excellent inker. Behind me, you'll see work from him that I have on my wall, which I will show you in detail. He's also an all-around great guy that will be at my show in December and has been at my show in the past. So hopefully he says it was a good time. If not, well, then I'll cut the show short. But anyway, I'm just kidding. So without further ado, I want to introduce Tony Kordos. Hey.
Hey.
What's going on?
Hey,
How
brother,
are you?
how you doing? I'm all right.
Good. We got questions already. Look at this. Good.
Questions already? I don't see them. Where are they?
You don't see them? Well, that's all right. I'll monitor and I'll put them up for you when they go.
Oh, there they are. I see it now.
Cool. Dell, I promise you can bring as many questions as you want. Go for it. Dell likes to ask a lot.
That's cool.
Hey, John, thanks for showing up. Veer is here, of course. Bill Field, thanks, guys, for showing up. Hope my Rogues Gallery's here. Shout out if you are. Love to hear from you, Steve and Dante and everybody. My mother is here. She said hello.
Well, hi, Mom.
So anyway, yeah, exactly. Well, if you said Dad, then we'd have a problem. Well, she might identify. I don't know. But anyway.
Hi, Veer. I think he wanted a personalized shout out.
You better, or we're going to hear about it later.
I know it, right?
So you're down in Florida right now, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, cool. There's a Florida show, isn't there? LA. Oh no, it's LA. Sorry.
Yeah.
LA. There's no Florida show though, right?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything scheduled till MegaCon next year. Is apparently still on the books. So
well, you're about to change from being a Floridian anyway, right? So. Shh. Oh, sorry.
Not everybody knows that.
Oh, my apologies.
It's all good.
Okay. Yeah, whatever. We'll get away from that then. What dirty secrets can we tell? Anyway, hey, Daniel, how are you? Yeah, I do work with Jay Skipper. I don't know what that means.
I assume that's a person.
I don't know. Cool. Well, you can elaborate if you like. Anyway, so thanks for coming on the show. I've known you. I met you in Las Vegas. I met you in the Vegas Amazing Con.
4 years ago now.
Yeah, it's fast, right?
Yeah.
Actually, that's what I should have put up. Crap. Let me see if I can find it during the show. You inked the Nightcrawler piece for me as well, which I just showed off because it got colored by Signatore. But you inked that piece, except for the one because Alan Davis we had Mark Farmer do it. But you inked everything else. Shoot, I should have pulled that up. Besides the New Mutants, damn it. Well, I'll see if I can pull it up during the show. You'll have to distract me and entertain the audience.
I can entertain, sure.
Yeah, just keep your clothes on.
That's right. Family friendly.
Yes, family friendly. No tassels. He said DC colorist. Okay.
All right.
Cool. So let's get right into it. People don't realize that inkers are pencilers also. That most inkers, at least the really good ones, can draw as well. And you have done some phenomenal pencil work, which we're going to show off during the show. The prints and everything that you've done. But what inspired you to become an artist / inker? Which I know they're the same thing, but
I was always drawn to either comic book art. Yeah. No, it wasn't intended. Wow. Comic book art and cartoon art and everything since I was a wee lad. And so, I've been doodling forever. And what got me to actually, kick me into gear to try and make a career out of it.
Was it kick you into gear or kick you into gear?
No, none of those.
No offense, but I know that you need that kick once in a while.
Sometimes. My ex-wife at the she challenged me. I was being cocky at a convention and being like, "That doesn't look hard. I could do that." Blah 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 blah, because I'm Italian and that's what we do. And so she was just like, "You know what? Shut up and prove it." And I was like, "Ooh, how dare you?" So yeah, it was. It took about 1.5 years, and I got my first job inking something. And I always I liked inking. I gravitated towards it. It's technical and there's precision to it, and all the details are there. But I don't have to worry about the proportions and the perspective and all that stuff. And so I gravitated. I was like, I'd rather put the details in than have to figure out the layouts and all that nonsense. And it just seemed like a lot more work that I just didn't feel like doing. So let's be honest, I didn't want to do it.
So it's too lazy.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I was like, this is fun. I'll do this instead.
Well, I know some inkers are inkers because they just didn't meet the deadlines as far as penciling because of all that goes into that, like you just said. So they'd rather just ink. What would you say to people that think it's just tracing?
You know what? I'd love to give them a page, like a good page, like some Mark Silvestri pencils or some old Jim Lee pencils, and be like, here you go, trace, and see what they come up with. Or even better, give them some John Byrne pencils and be like, go ahead, show me your tracing skills at this point, But I like to, a lot of people come up and joke with me about it, especially friends will come and joke about it. And I'll be like, yeah, I'm a tracer. I said, you know what though? They pay me a lot of money to trace, and I get to sit at home and do it. What's your job again?
Yeah. Oh, how's that truck commute? You're offloading?
Yeah. How's that commute every day, huh? So you want to get I'll throw it right back at them.
Well, people don't understand cross-hatching and line weights and light sources, and there could be more than one light source. We've gone over this before. I really love inkers. I respect inkers, what they do. I'm friends with a lot of inkers, it seems. There is a lot to it that they don't get. So you're definitely not tracing, at least not the good ones.
No. You can definitely tell the guys who have an artistic background from those guys who are just like, just follow the lines type of, guys who've never really drawn themselves before.
Yeah, those are the guys that aren't published. That's how you tell.
Yeah, there's a few of those.
By the way, Bradney, how you doing, buddy? He said, can you say hi to my son, Nathan?
Hey, Nathan. How you doing?
Cool. Hi, Nathan. Glad you guys can show up. Nathan is that your newborn, Nathan? Or do you have an older son? Well, follow up and let us know in the thing.
If it's the newborn, he's not going to know that we said hello.
Yeah, but he can tell him someday.
Later
it's a
in
story.
life.
Dude, you're creating stories, man. That's what parents want to do, especially geeks like me, geek father. Oh. Yesterday, Larry Kenny wished me happy birthday, and my daughters love Thundercats in the 80s. Nice. And I just told them, Lionel just wished me happy birthday. And they were like, so that's awesome.
That's fantastic. Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right. So you got challenged to be able to do art and ink, etc. And so you started practicing basically and drawing. Were you drawing or practicing inking or?
I was practicing inking because that was kind of what I was being cocky about, joking around, saying, "Oh, look, they can just do that." And that's when I realized, oh my God, they're not just tracers. I actually have to put some art skill into this as well. So yeah, at the time I was a bartender, so I would work till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'd get home and I'd work for a few hours on my portfolio, go to sleep, wake up, work some more, then go to work, and those were my days, for a year and a half. That's just what I did. So it was definitely a challenge,
Would you like stepping up to a challenge?
That was the key. If somebody's going to throw the gauntlet down like that, you just got to be like, oh, okay.
Tony, I challenge you. I bet you can't give me $100.
You know what? I bet you I can't right now either. But I could draw you $100. How about that?
I will say this, and I'm going to show the jam that you did for me up close. You are very affordable with the industry rates going on right now for the quality of work you do. So that is awesome.
Well, thanks. I'm a collector too. I've been collecting art since before I was, in the business, and that was one of the things I always hated. Is some of these guys, their rates go like skyrocket, and I'm just like, how is a fan supposed to afford this? I mean, I understand you got the high end art collectors; those guys are fans too, but the everyday fan can't afford any of your stuff, man. I was like, and you don't do head sketches or you don't do that or whatever. Right. So I try to keep my stuff, pretty reasonable for most people. And, I always like to hook up kids and stuff because they're the next generation. And if they're not going to love us, we're going to be some out of work old artists. So you gotta bring the kids in there.
But I just, your material is funny though. I can just picture you handing some of this stuff to little kids, which by the way, everybody is aware, Tony is graciously going to give away 3 of his prints to one winner with the best question. We have some questions coming in already, which is great. Can you show the prints so they're? Did you not bring them out to show them? What the hell?
Wait, I might be able to. Hold on, I gotta look at my phone.
How do you do that? Well,
look. I'm in between permanent houses at the moment, so all my normal prints are in storage.
All right. I will say this though. Tony is a Star Wars fan, and he does this series that is awesome. You'd have to see it to understand it, but he's taking Star Wars characters, usually Sith, or bounty hunters, and he does this really cool, like Boba Fett has the skull underneath the mask. It's kind of like a horror element. Yeah, under the helmet, a little horror element with Star Wars. It goes over really well. The pencils are just really tight. I mean, really good. And these prints are awesome. I mean, they really are. Hopefully he can show them to you because that would be really cool. But they'll be given away to the best questions. So I'm going to get to a few questions so we can stay up on that.
Cool.
Dell asked you, sir. Ooh, you're a sir now. Look at that. He doesn't know you. What was your first break? Was it hard work or was it at the right place at the right time? And that's really what I was going to ask next anyway. So,
it's both. It really is. It's both. Because you have to put the work in to be able to be at the right place at the right time. If my skills weren't up to par, being at the right place at the right time isn't going to matter any. So you have to put the work in and then get lucky at the same time down the road once you're at that level. And I got lucky.
How did you break in?
My first break-in was through or with an artist called Mario Gully. I don't know if anybody knows him. He used to do a book for Image called Ant.
Yes.
him and I became friends, and actually my first published page is in one of his Ant books, and then him and I worked on a project years ago. But my first major break, like into DC, it's funny. I got that kind of based on on just a blank cover sketch, a head sketch of the Hulk.
Really?
Yeah, Paul Pelletier used to live here in Tampa, and we were at the convention together, and somebody brought over his head sketch on a blank cover for me to do. So I inked it up and whatnot, and I went and showed Paul beforehand, before I gave it back to the customer, and he looked at it and just went, all right, I'm emailing my editor tomorrow. And then like a few weeks later, I got a phone call, and this guy asking me questions, weird questions about Warner Brothers and stuff like, have you worked for these? Have you done? I'm like, no. I'm like, what's this about? And he's like, oh, well, has anyone told you yet? I was like, told me what? Oh, you're inking Aquaman. I was like, oh. He's like, well, congratulations. I was like, okay.
That's how you found out?
Yeah, that's how I found out. I was sitting,
Wow.
I was at a gas station pumping gas, talking to this guy on the phone, and I'm like, why are these questions?
How exciting was that, though? I mean, we were like, holy crap, this is amazing.
Yeah, I was over the moon. Yeah, it was.
Did you go to your ex? Told you.
She was one of the first people I told, but she was always very supportive, though. I can't say anything bad. I think she knew what she was doing when she threw out that challenge. You know, when she was like, prove it. She knows who I was. You know, she's been really supportive ever since too. Her and I are still really good friends. But yeah, it's been a interesting ride. So like I said, you have to be at the right place at the right time with all the hard work already put into it.
Right.
You know, so that people notice you. The right people do notice. So there's
Veer
that.
said that you're artist freaky and it gives him nightmares.
Yeah, well, Veer's kind of a woman.
Oh.
So I said it.
Oh my god.
Veer.
Hey Veer, I didn't say it. I just gave you a question.
Whatever, man. He loves my art. Tell him to be quiet.
Dell said, where did the nickname KO come from?
It's actually real easy. It's the first two letters of my last name. And originally I was doing TKO, but I dropped the T because a knockout's better than a technical knockout.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, so that's really all it is. I just dropped all the rest of the letters off my last name and just did KO. So I wanted something that would be instantly recognizable.
I get it.
That's all about, branding yourself, is one of the things I heard from, I think it was Jim Lee years ago in an interview. If you're going to sign something, make sure they know who it is. Make sure they can read it. I was like, well, KO, I mean, you know who that is. That's super simple. So that's how I kind of decided on that.
Sweet. And Veer said, and then Tony has to tell me to go away and not bother him. Otherwise, Tony knows how much I like annoying him.
Veer likes to hang out a lot. It's all good, though. He knows I have mad love for him. Even though he just called me an a-hole.
I didn't go down that far yet. I'm trying to keep with the questions. Del, some of your questions are going to come up in the show, so do me a favor, re-ask them in a little bit, okay? Anything I don't get to. I have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles art. Are you going to make more?
I've been planning on it. I just haven't had a chance to get to it yet. I want to do, and if you've asked me before, you know the answer. I want to do April, Casey Jones, and I want to do a Foot Soldier.
Dude, we were at the New York Comic Con, and that girl dressed as April was busting out everywhere.
I still have her picture.
She came up and you said, "Can I use you as a reference to draw?" And and then it was the guy that was dressed as Hercules from Marvel that was rubbing up on me when I was in front of your table, and I kept moving, and he was rubbing up on me. I think he was just trying to make me uncomfortable, but
you're a sexy guy, Phil. I mean,
well, I know that, but the point is, my pear shape is in. But the fact is, though, I have Hercules from freaking Disney rubbing up on me, and I'm like, that better be armor.
That better be your sword or something. I don't know.
Really, man. This is not. I was really creeped out, to be honest. You know, like I've never had a man like up on me like this before.
Jeez, that's funny.
Patricia had yelled Thundercats from before.
Yeah,
We love that.
She's a huge fan. She loves
She is?
Chitara.
Yeah, my daughter loved Chitara. Yeah.
Hold on a second. Yes? Oh, yeah. I have to move my car real quick. So you have to give me like 5 minutes. I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
Oh, my Lord. All right. So he doesn't have the art and he's got to move his car. This is a first. Anyway, while we're waiting, I just want to let everybody know that I appreciate the support for the show. I appreciate you coming out as always. If you're in the local area, tri-state area, and you are hungry and fiending for a con, December 6th, we have a small one-day show, 10 to 6 p.m. We will be safe. Masks are required. We'll be cleaning everything throughout the day with the volunteer staff. We will be socially distancing. The setup will not have aisles, so you're not log jammed into aisles. It'll be open room with the artists outlining the room. We have Billy Tucci. We have Keith Williams, Larry Stroman. We have Rodney Ramos. We have Sean Chen. We have Tony Kordos will be there. Alex Rivera. A lot of great local talents that you may be following online or you may not be aware of, but they're awesome people. And great artists. So please, if you have nothing better going on, come on out. It's $5 cash at the door only. So it's not a lot to break your bank. And I promise you, as a nurse, I know infection control, it'll be cleaner than Walmart because they're not cleaning the credit card machines or the items you're holding in Walmart. Having said that, just in time, he's back. Somebody gave us a stink face, man. You believe that? Somebody gave us Rebecca Booth Stanley gave us a stink face? Oh, no, maybe I'm wrong. What'd you do, man?
How dare you?
Yeah, they gave us an angry face because you left, man. Or maybe it's because I'm doing a show. I don't know. But that was quick, though. What the hell did you do with the car?
I just moved it to the other side of the driveway. I told you, gotta be quick. I'll be quick.
Dell said that he saw a picture of you on Google wearing a pink dress costume. Who were you cosplaying? Oh, he wasn't. That's just his normal attire when he's not.
Yeah. That was last Wednesday. It was a Halloween party and I was Princess Bubblegum from Adventure Time. But that was 7-8 years ago and 50 pounds lighter. So we won't be doing that again.
Yeah, so he said, at least not in public.
No more pictures at least.
Yeah, we're going to get the dirt on you.
Don't ask Trish.
So you got into DC and you started working on Aquaman. And how was that? I mean, you're big time. You're in the big publisher. I mean...
It was amazing. It's stressful. Like that first page comes in and like going to put the pencil, I'm like, okay, this is all me now, It was a little, but as soon as you put down the pen and you do that first line, you go. And
you just focus. You're in the zone.
Yep. And all that hesitation goes away until you turn the pages in, and then you're like, oh, please God.
And what was the feedback you got?
So,
what kind of feedback did you get? Which obviously must have been good because you got more work.
Oh yeah, it was great. Working with Paul loved what I did and stuff like that. We had a couple little kinks here and there he wanted me to work on, in particular for him. But then there was a few things that I did that other people didn't do that worked on him, and he was like, "I love this."
Now you're talking about inking still, or something to do with a pink dress or something?
Well, a little both. Sometimes you got to tweak someone's nipple and they like it, but I'm just saying.
So from there, you went on to another DC book.
Yeah, we did. What did we do after that? We did Batman and Robin Eternal after that, and that was cool. We did a good amount of issues in that book, and didn't get to do too much Batman in it, but we got to do a lot of the family. Nightwing was in it a bit, and Cassandra Cain. We did a lot of her.
Nice.
So that was really cool. Had a good time with that. And then we did some. What else did we do? We did Dark Side War, a little bit of Dark Side War, which
Yeah, that was a good storyline, man. I liked that.
yeah.
Probably, I stopped DC a little after that, I think.
Yeah, that was really fun. There was just one particular panel I got to do Darkseid's face coming out of the shadows, and I had a blast with that panel. That was, that was my favorite panel. Because
You still have those originals? Or?
Nope. Those went pretty quick. So
That's too bad.
yeah.
So, I mean, you went, you kind of jumping fast. You go from Aquaman and then boom, Justice League. Big time. I mean,
Well,
you must have looked really good in that pink dress.
Maybe one day I'll put it on for you.
Yeah.
Well, when we were doing Batman and Robin Eternal, it went over really well. We got a lot of critical acclaim for it, and a lot of people were talking about it. So I think that just helped with the team up between Paul and I, how good we were, the stuff we were producing. Everyone seemed to enjoy it, and I know he got compliments on the style and everything like that, and we were always on time. That always helps. You hit those deadlines. So yeah.
That's what it's about, deadlines.
Yeah, man. You can hit the deadlines. They're usually pretty good.
And you also did Cyborg over Will Conrad, who's a friend of mine. He's a phenomenal penciler, right? Or did you not do over Will?
I didn't get to do over Will. I would love to work over Will.
That's too bad.
I've talked to him about it a little bit at New York a couple of years ago. So maybe one day I can work on him.
That'd be cool.
So Cyborg, I was working on Paul still.
Oh,
and
that's right. Okay.
Also an artist named Alan Jefferson, which I think he's a South American artist, but his line work is a complete contrast to like what Paul does.
Really?
There's a lot of shadows in Paul, and we do a lot of lights and darks in our work. And Alan Jefferson is like straight line work. There's no shadows, no blacks dropped anywhere.
You have a lot to do.
So it's a little. It was actually a little more. I was like, oh, this is great. I don't have to spot blacks. This is going to save me so much time. No, it's not, because now I don't have the blacks to create that depth anymore on the page. I have to really make sure that the page is, that the front is standing out and the back is way in the back, and just by line weights alone without any shadow help. So it was a challenge at first, to really get my head wrapped around that too.
But you like challenges.
I do like challenges. I knocked it out. So
and you stepped up, exactly. So you also did some Marvel property work for the cards, right? The card game.
Yeah, Legendary. I did the initial release, the first release of the game.
Legendary.
Yep. I know, right?
Yeah. Wow, It's kismet. Yeah. Sorry, guys. That's between us for now. So you have? Would you want to continue working with the big publishers, or are you looking to go your own avenue and do independent stuff? Because that's where a lot of people are going now.
I'd like to work for the big publishers again if I could get a project that really interests me with an artist that I enjoy working on, or with. But if not, I'm perfectly happy working on my stuff and doing the things that I enjoy doing and whatnot. I have a couple little projects coming in that I'm working on that I'm sure we're going to get to here soon.
Yeah, we are.
But
we're going to pull in Trish when we do that too.
Surprise guest, everybody! Surprise guest.
Let me tell you, Trish is a very lovely person, and she's the brains behind the operation. Sorry, Tony.
Not a problem. I'm flaky sometimes, and I'm not a people person.
No, if you see Tony at shows, Trish is the big smile next to him that is engaging you and talking to you and helping you, and Tony just sit back trying to look like Joe Cool.
I'm usually working.
So if you were to work in DC or Marvel, what would be the title you'd want to work on, and who would the creative team be that you pick? And would you ink or would you pencil? Or both?
No, I didn't. Yeah. For comics, I think that's where my talent lies when doing comic books, and sequential art is with just inking on them. I think it'd be too stressful for me to try to do pencils too. My anxiety doesn't handle that very well. But I'd love to do like an original X-Men book, like the '90s X-Men characters,
Yes.
late '80s, the stuff that I grew up with, like the animated series team or something like that. That's what I would.
Stuff. That's the only thing I hate about that cartoon, that they were just guest stars in 1 or 2 episodes. They should have been on a team.
Yeah. But so that's probably what I'd want to work on for, like, if it was Marvel, or a What If book, because then I could work on tons of other stuff too. That would be awesome. As for a team, who would I want to work on? I'd love to work over Joe Mad. Oh, he's so nice.
Nice.
I love his work. It's got so much energy to it.
Yeah.
I don't know, somebody, I don't really have a particular guy that I would, be like, yes, that one, outside of, Joe, but somebody with a lot of energy in their artwork, something like that.
What about writer?
Writers,
if you're going X-Men, if you're going X-Men, isn't there really only one answer?
I mean, Claremont. I mean, that's the way to go. I mean, he's the one who wrote all those stories that we love. So
17 years, he created those characters in my mind. He made them who they are.
Yeah, he was phenomenal. Like, those, when I think back, what's your favorite book? It was this X-Men book, this storyline, this, So yeah, Claremont was huge. That'd be awesome.
Now, I mean, talking about, you love Joe Mad and everything. Joe Mad obviously has like more cartoony style, more loosened, rounded pencils and stuff. But you're a child that enjoy the '90s. Would you prefer to ink like a looser style at Mad then, or would you love like? Because I've seen you ink Mark Silvestri work, and that's like tight, and and Jim Lee and David Finch, those guys, they're tight.
Yeah, I would jump at the chance to ink Finch on a regular basis. I like his style. I love all the detail. I love all the grit in it, and I think that I actually could lend myself a lot to that kind of style. But at the same time, with Joe Mad, I've done some practice pages over his stuff and whatnot, because he doesn't do very many commissions.
Right.
But there's room in his stuff for details. There's room in there for textures that he doesn't put in, and I think that would be really fun. That's when you get the, he does the whole base of the drawing and the whole, guts of it, and you just come in and start adding in, the details and the white paint over the black knot lines to add even more depth and effects. And I think it would be a really slick combination, honestly.
Because David Finch, when he pencils, it's like he's inking it too with a pencil. I mean, He's got all the shading in, he's got all the light source in there, he does all of it. You're just kind of just going over his blacks.
To a degree, but there's still a big room for you to kind of bring your own interpretation into it, especially if you're somebody like an inker, kind of like I am, that likes to go into the shadows and add white paint or white ink in the shadowed areas to bring a little more definition into certain areas. Dave's work lends itself to that a lot because he uses such heavy shadows on a regular basis, and all his cross hatching, and stuff like that. Dave's stuff is fun to work on. It's fun to work on. I've done a few pieces of his.
Nice. So at this point, you were telling me that you have some projects in the work for yourself.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Now, I'd like to bring on Trish to help talk about what you're doing. Everybody, I want to introduce you to Trish. Heidi Hogan.
Hey, there's that pretty lady.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you, gentlemen, tonight?
Good. Have you been entertained like the Gladiator? Are you not entertained?
It's a great show.
Well, it's not over yet.
It is. Look, she's the brains and the beauty of the operation.
Yeah, she is kind of better looking than you, but
I love her facial hair.
At least I shaved today.
Oh, yes. Look at you looking pretty for me.
I was hairy. I had the hockey playoff beard going.
Yeah, I need a haircut bad. I cut my own hair, and I really need help now.
Yeah, we can tell.
Yeah, but I shaved I had this big white beard. I look like Santa Claus. It's coming back. Trish has been a great sport too, though, because literally 6 minutes before we went on, we're like, "Hey, you want to join us?"
Yes.
So thanks.
Yes.
She was not happy with us.
And not just
I
that,
was
but
not.
and the funny thing is, I sent the link first, so like she's got the link in her messages. She's probably like, "What the hell is this?" Before we get into your, what's that?
I was just going to say, I had a little warning and had a little exchange with Mr. Kordos before I got the link. So,
before we get into your project, just related to the X-Men, Nicholas asked, would you ever consider doing X-Men Gold and Blue Team like you did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle art, or even X-Men Rogues Gallery?
Oh, now see the Rogues Gallery. That would be cool to do.
Style, yeah.
Yeah, I love villains. The villains are I believe that the villains have more depth to their stories anyway, their background. They're such more rounded characters, in my opinion. And I would do. Yeah, I could. That might have to be a thing. That
could be a new series.
Yeah, that could be.
And you still haven't found the art that people want to know what they're looking to win. That kind of would make sense, right?
Yeah,
Trish,
yeah.
You really got to get him.
I told him earlier. I told him so. I told him earlier. So I can only do so much at 1,200 miles apart.
Fair enough. Vera said that Trish is like, everybody behave or you're all grounded.
Yep. Including you, Veer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially
including you, Veer.
Especially Veer.
The questions have slowed down. Dell had asked, are you a big Star Wars fan because of your shirt?
I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
He is, and if he can show you this art, you're going to be like, wow. I mean, it's ultra detail. Yeah, don't be prepared or anything,
I don't think
Tony.
that's the one I'm doing, though, but, I mean, I can show you that stuff.
Oh, that isn't? Oh, then I'm mistaken. I thought that's what you were saying.
But I can do those. We can do those, too. That's fine.
You want. Show me. It's up to you.
All right.
You said it was a set of 3.
Yeah. It's the Sith Lords. It's Darth Maul, Darth Vader, and Kylo Ren. And the whole thing's a grayscale piece with just their lightsabers are red. And they all fit together. They're sitting on the deck of the Death Star.
I don't think I saw that. Okay. So those I haven't seen. Those sound pretty damn cool.
Let's see here.
It's definitely one of the more popular pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May the ink be with you always, said Veer.
He's so sweet.
So while you're looking for that, Trish, why don't you start talking to us about what you guys are working on?
Okay, well, it kind of started as a doodle, really. And, obviously I've been working with Tony for 5 years now and seeing all these great artists. And I've always loved to draw, but never really kind of expanded on it. And there's certain things I love. Like I really love the Day of the Dead skulls. I love Tony's work with skulls in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Love anything to do with the Zodiac. I love fairies. So I had kind of an idea of something I wanted to throw together. And I approached Tony and I said, hey, I'd like to do this. And he's like, well, put it together and let's, see what we could do. And it's turned into a 12 Zodiac piece project. So It's fairies with Day of the Dead skulls in all the Zodiacs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Can you show us anything?
Show it off. Come on. The first one.
So, and the first one I'm going to show you is the first one Tony inked. I don't know,
Go the other way, yeah.
That way. Back up.
Back up.
Back up.
There.
Pull it away from the screen.
Yeah, pull it back from the screen a little. There you go.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, wow, this is sitting on the skull.
Yeah.
So this is Leo, and it's sitting on the lion's skull. And this is my pencils. And, when people say...
Yeah, right? She's got talent.
I didn't know you could draw like that.
I can't. And this is inked.
So wait, you do the skulls, Tony, and she's doing the fairies, or she's doing everything?
I drew everything, and he
She penciled everything, and then I'm coming in, and I'm doing my version of skulls as the skulls. And push it a little forward, hun, because you can't
Wow,
just so
the
they can
softness
see
of the
some of the
fairy,
stuff.
but then the edginess of the skulls. That's a great
Yep.
contrast. That's awesome.
See, that's exactly what I told her too.
Yeah. So,
No,
and
the
I mean,
contrast works great.
and you can see just in the comparison of mine. This is very hard to do backwards. Mine versus Tony's,
Right.
he's not tracing it. He's creating
He's putting texture to it.
Yeah, a whole different depth and level to it than is in their original pencils. And, some of them have more traditional skulls. So this is Virgo.
Nice.
And
Oh, you know what?
Do you have a Libra? I want to see Libra.
Libra is in the works right now.
Cool.
So
I got to see that one.
This is actually, here's one. This one's in the works. This
The other
way.
way.
Yeah,
Yep,
this
so
is Cancer.
Cancer,
Oh, wow.
the crab.
Yep.
That's the inks, and this is the pencils to that.
Oh, cool.
That's actually
Wow. And just, I mean, Trish, you're very impressive with your pencils, really. But then
Thank
when
you.
he goes in and what he does to the skulls is phenomenal.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice
And like I
texture
said,
to them.
it started out kind of as a little just, fun thing. I started out with my own Zodiac sign, and people really took to them and liked them. And like I said, Tony said he would collaborate with me on the project, and it's really taken on kind of like a life of its own. So
Now, are you going to do like a big piece that's the circle of them all around, and like, you know what I mean, like every one of them in a circle on one page? Yeah, smaller, of course.
We've got a couple of different things we're doing.
That's not a bad idea.
Them.
That'd be cool. Yeah, do the whole Zodiac, do a Zodiac calendar or a sign or something. Like, that'd be awesome.
That would be cool.
So
That is cool.
I have 2 more to finish penciling. I'm actually sketching one out tonight.
How long does it take you to draw one of them? Nice.
So
She can do one in a day if she's focused and doesn't have any distractions and whatnot. But I'm a huge distraction, so.
Well, she's probably trying to get you straight, like get you to do what you got to do.
More often than not.
Yeah.
And are you gonna have them colored? Or are you gonna keep them this? Or are you gonna do like your style is to have color in it, but not totally colored, like grayscale with color in it? Is that what you're gonna do, or?
I think the skulls themselves, the Day of the Dead portions of them are going to be colored, and then we're going to do color in the fairies. We haven't really completely decided how we're going to do it yet. We just know that just those Day of the Dead pieces in the skulls, those are definitely have color in them, with the rest of the skull being black and white. But the fairies, we're still trying to figure out. We're not sure. We might go watercolor. We might go digital. We could go marker. We're not sure how we're going to color them yet.
Because you have that really cool style that I see some people do sometimes, though, where there's only color in certain spots, and then the rest is black and white. But you'll bring out colors like a red, something like that. That because you always go the bad route.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have some colorblind issues, but it's really cool. Because even though colors don't pop on me like everybody else, and I might not know what color I'm looking at, it's still really cool to see the contrast that you do with it. You have a little grayscale or just black and white, and then boom, here's a color somewhere. And where you put it just works really well. So I was just curious if you'd be doing that.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna throw some color in there. Like I said, we're still figuring out if it's gonna be if the fairy's gonna be completely colored or if we're just gonna do pieces of her or something like that. So.
And you can do print runs? Are you gonna do like metal prints and stuff too, or?
We are talking about doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
She wants to do coffee mugs,
awesome
shirts. Came up with the idea we might put them on candles. People tend to like the candles with the wrapped art around the glass.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So we're looking into doing that too.
There's people that do those glass steins and they etch in art on them. Maybe you could get somebody to do that. A nice big stein with the art on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have my people reach out to your people.
Right. So I found the picture, by the way.
All right.
So this is the print that we were talking about.
Oh, I did see that. Okay.
Mhm.
I don't know why I remember that, but I did see that. Yes.
So it's this. So it's really 3 pieces. It's, each character is a separate piece, but they fit together to form one big image.
Sweet.
So that's the giveaway. Sorry, I don't
So-
have an actual one with me, but I can.
Andy's a big Star Wars fan, so Andy, you got to start asking some more questions. He goes, "I love Star Wars too. Who's your favorite Force user?"
Oh, I got to go with Revan right now. He's the man. I also like Darth Bane. Bane is pretty amazing.
So you like Knights of the Republic stuff, the older.
Yeah, there's so much back there. There's so much stuff that they can pull from. I really hope they bring some of that out.
Well, they're talking about that being what Disney starts to focus on now that they're off the Skywalkers, now that they totally destroyed, obliterated, and annihilated that.
Right. and it's so
how do
well.
I really feel?
Yeah, no, I hope they go to the old stuff, man. That there's a lot of characters there that need to see,
I agree.
film,
I agree. I mean, again, even if they wanted to stay with some mainstream storyline, why can't they do that? They're doing so many other solo films, etc.
Yeah.
Are you able to pull up just to show them what I was talking about, though? With
yeah,
those are really cool, and it also the prints that you're about to show your ability of detail. I mean, really detailed pencils. But Trish, I didn't know you could draw like that. That's awesome. You should definitely do more after this. I mean, do you plan on continuing after this project?
I am. I actually got another project from Tony I'm going to be starting on as soon as I'm done with these.
Awesome. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, right there's good. See, that's so cool. And then you have other characters with the same premise. Very nice.
I got a Vader.
I mean, look at that. Is that killer? It's crazy.
And my favorite guy. Where's he at?
Revan.
Yeah, my Revan one, which Trisha's a fan of because she likes the way I did the hood.
Yeah, that is awesome. And the fang, look at that. Nice. So. Yeah, that hood, I remember seeing that. It looks like cloth, like a picture of cloth. It was awesome.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, and for those people who, since it's Halloween, I have to show the Halloween ones. Yeah. Just one Halloween one real quick.
Sure. So real quick, this show's about you, dude. Take your time. Show whatever you want.
All right.
Yeah, that's another one I was thinking of. I love that, how it shows through the balloon. That is so cool. So if you guys like horror, it's Halloween time.
So yeah, that's the kind of stuff I've been doing and working on. Like I said, extreme detail, especially with the skulls and stuff. Love working on it.
And again, these are your pencils with your inks as well. It's not, people think inkers can't, good inkers can draw.
Yeah, I think you have to be able to have, otherwise you are just a tracer because you're not going to know what to, where to add line work, where to add shadows and depth and everything. Or if, that's freaky.
He's going to have nightmares tonight.
He is. You're not going to be able to fix anything either, if something needs to be adjusted or whatever,
right.
Your penciler actually accidentally puts in 6 fingers instead of 5, But
well, I mean, look at the great inkers. Norm Ratman can draw, Scott Williams can draw, Scott Hanna can draw.
Yep.
You have to be able to, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
When I first met you, I didn't know how well you drew. I mean, until I saw those, I was like, oh my god, this guy's pencils are awesome.
It's funny. So, I don't think I really started digging into my, back into doing pencil work until after we met. Actually, I was like, and then I don't know. I think I got tired. I was asking a buddy to do a piece for me, and I got tired of waiting. So I was like, fuck it, I'll do it myself.
He got dragged into penciling his own work.
You know what?
And screaming.
My fault.
Well,
I did it.
You need that.
Did it.
You need. Well, it's like I said earlier, the kick and the you know what. By the way, Peter Palmiotti's with us. Hey, Peter, how are you?
Hello.
I hope I can draw for an inker. Of course. Peter's a great guy. Obviously, he's got published work. He's well known. He's also, I was on his YouTube show as a guest, so he's charitable.
Nice. He gives back.
What's that?
I said he gives back.
Yes,
Yeah.
All right, so can I take a moment? I just want to show people an example of what you do, commissions you've done for me. Now, I did a show last week. I do my jam show. I tagged you. Of course, you didn't see it or ignored it, but you know what? Whatever. Thanks, Tony. Yeah, whatever.
I'm never online. This is the longest I've been
playing,
online in months.
That's
just
true.
because you're playing video
That's
games
true.
instead of inking my other jam, damn it. Oh, you got called out.
That's
you
not
got
true.
called out.
That's not completely true.
Yeah, it's not completely true. So
Partially.
let me show everybody. I had this also digitally colored by a friend of mine, William Wolford, but this was the traditional inks I got from Tony. And let me see if I can just block you out for a second. I'm sorry. So, I mean, I just want to show everybody the detail that, look at on Warlock and the way you follow the light sources. And there's several light sources from other characters in here that people wouldn't realize, like Sunfire, is creating light. The flame on the sword for magic is creating light. So people may not realize there's the external light source, and there's a light source created by Magma and Sunfire and magic that you capture that, and people don't realize that. And also, the pencils on Wolfsbane were a little rough because she was hairy, and you really tightened them up nicely.
Yeah, she was a little looser than some of the other ones. So but it's good though for like a character like that has a lot of fur. It's okay to be a little looser because that just gives me the ability to really add in the texture of the fur without having to worry about upsetting the penciler, because if you did it loose, you're basically giving me permission to do what I want to do.
Right.
So I was able to play with the fur however I wanted to.
And you do some nice lines and hatching, and your line weights are awesome, as you can see on a lot of these pieces, like Sunfire. And Sunspot, I love how he came out, because I really thought he would be the more difficult one. Because I know it sounds stupid, but he's all black, but you can't just have this black blur. There's just black spot on the thing. So you have to add texture to it like you did with, cross-hatching to show the lighter aspects of him and just show the effects of it. So I thought you did a phenomenal job, and I appreciate it.
Oh, man, it was a fun piece to work on. I got to work on some of those guys I've worked on before, so that was really nice. And there's a couple I hadn't worked on. So
have you ever done Philip Tan's work before?
I have. I did a Mohawk Storm commission for somebody.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was Philip's work is awesome. He's got so much detail in there, and it was fun. It was a challenge, but those
he
were
makes
like
a big
challenges.
page not look busy, just tight. I mean, because he has a lot going on with his pages, but it's clean, it's clear, you see it, and it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's I love his style. It's very refined. It doesn't look it, but once you really dig into it, you can see how refined his stuff really is.
I think he's probably, at this point, the most underrated artist in the industry. He should be getting the Jim Lee kind of treatment, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I also think Mark Silvestri doesn't get enough credit.
Well, Mark needs to do a little more work.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't remember seeing Mark's work. I think the last thing I saw was when he was working on X-Men again.
Well, he also, at this point, he's doing the high-end commissions like we were talking about, $4,000 commissions. So average people like us aren't really affording him anymore.
Are you kidding me? His head sketches, I saw him at a show. I took a picture of the pricing because I couldn't believe it. But the head sketches alone were like $400 or $600 for a head sketch. I was like, are you out of what? I'm like, I got 3 of them in San Diego years ago for nothing. I'm like, and now I'm like, man, and that's what I'm talking about. I'm like, if you've been a fan for a long time, that's what you're used to. You're like, yeah, but you guys used to do these for free, or you do them for $20 or something like that.
It's probably because they don't want to draw anymore, and if they're gonna draw, it's gonna be worth it.
I do know an artist I know, and I won't drop his name, but an artist I know, that was his reasoning for continually raising his prices every year, is in hopes that people would quit asking him to do commissions. He's like, but it doesn't work.
Well, because there's always somebody that's going to want the art that can afford it, they figure. I mean, if you think about it, if you could sell one piece for $4,000 and the same time it took you to draw something to get $400,
Yep.
And, the thing is, Mark is a very nice guy. I mean, when I met him, he's extremely nice, but he probably just doesn't want to do all those commissions. He doesn't. Well, if you don't have to draw like that anymore, why? I guess I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I can't speak for him personally. Oh, Peter said that's badass art, Tony.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
And Dean said it's the Tony and Trisha show, home edition. Hi, guys.
Hey, Dean. What's up, man?
Hey, Dean.
Yeah. We're actually going to tear down the wall behind you and open it up. And sorry, that's the home network, whatever my mother watches all the time.
Move that bus.
Yeah. So remodel.
You never know.
You never
know what you could see.
Looking at houses out.
Not with us on screen. Who knows? You get crazy.
So Veer's, and I will attest to this. Veer is absolutely telling you the truth about what he does. He says, which is why I buy my art in pencils from outside the U.S. and have it inked by Tony.
That's true.
Well, because you got to think about it.
Veer's collection is probably I'm probably inked the majority of his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's gotten some other stuff inked, and there's been other people who have inked pieces and given it to him. But yeah, Veer's been an amazing friend and client for the past few years. He's always been there to support and give positive feedback, and just he's a great guy.
Well, he'll be honest with you. He will be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah.
No filter, no tact.
Nope. He actually thought I was rigging an auction on one of my pieces of art. You remember that, honey?
Yeah.
He thought I was rigging. I was like, I didn't even know it was up yet. He's like, well, yours is the only one that's like $200. I'm like, okay, I'm popular. I don't know.
Veer's getting called out. Look at this. Nice.
Don't pick on my Veer. Don't pick on my Veer.
Oh, we're gonna roast him. Let's roast him.
Roast the Veer.
It'll be the roast Veer episode. So you are going to be at probably the greatest show you could ever attend in December.
Yeah. It's highly exclusive, extremely hard to get into.
Yeah.
I mean,
top
it's
dollar
so
at the door.
Nobody knows about it.
Yeah, so I met you in Las Vegas, and we were talking, and I had a show coming up, and you were going to be in the area. You came to the show. It was the very first show I ever held, so it was a small hotel. It was like one of those old Howard Johnson,
Yep.
Thing. But you did well, you said, and it was a good show, right? I mean,
yeah. Met some new friends there. Got to hang out with some old friends there. It was fun. It's exactly what you had said it was going to be. You wanted a little con that was about comic books and comic book artists, and that's exactly what it was. And everybody who went, that's exactly what they went to see. It wasn't like the big shows where people are there for celebrities, or they're there for the toys, or they're there for the costuming and stuff like that. People came in some costumes, but they were there to see the art, and they were there to support comic books, and it was fantastic. I love that.
Phil, I actually just sent you.
Yeah, I just saw it.
Show.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
You just sent me a picture of you two at my show.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good picture of you two also.
Oh.
Very nice.
You must have gotten the back of my head.
It's too bad you still weren't smiling, of course, but she was.
I don't do it.
I'm always looking at you in the picture.
I smile a lot.
That's good. You should. But it's too bad you couldn't make it to the other shows. I mean, the second show.
Counteract my scowl.
Good
We were at your
contrast.
second show too, I thought.
No, you didn't make it to second or third. The second one was at Stony Brook, and I had Scott Williams there, and Mark Morales, and a bunch of other inkers. And then the third one, I had Norm Ratman and some other people. And unfortunately, you guys weren't able to make it. But yeah, so
We're
you'll
going to be there in December.
We're fixing that.
Yeah.
Well, December's the small one, but Creatorcon's going to be a 2-day big one. So hopefully you show up to that one. But Yeah, I was glad that you
Yeah.
did well, and I don't have it up on the computer, but you had, at the end of the show, I had commissioned you to ink. I'm going to see if I'm pulling my thing out here.
That is a good picture.
Right behind me, right here. Let me tilt it. This you inked, this Colossus versus Juggernaut. That's you too.
Yeah. Yep.
Shelby Robertson drew it, and you inked it and gave it to me at the end of the show. So
Yeah, man, that was a good one.
yeah, came out fantastic. And Shelby has like a kind of Liefeld-esque kind of style, but how do I put this? Maybe
Better?
a little more refined, a little like tighter. Anatomy and things like that.
His anatomy is a little bit better, than Liefeld is. And
I'm just saying it. Well, whatever. I'm gonna stay away from there because Liefeld never do my show anyway. But I thought your inks matched that style very well. You did a great job on his style. So
yeah, the '90s style penciler seems to be a good fit for my for what I do.
yeah, and I do love Shelby's work.
Yeah.
So talking about, hey Tony, what made you a fanboy? All right, we'll ask. Hey Tony Kordos, what made you fanboy out at a show? I was literally just about to ask this question, so I'll give the credit to VR because he wants to win.
Oh, my biggest fanboy moment at a show was when I met Scott Williams for the first time, and I couldn't really form very many sentences because I was like, oh, you're Scott Williams.
And yet you didn't come to my second show. You would have been sitting right there with him.
We talked about this. Anyway.
I just listening to Josh.
But yeah, it was Scott. And I was super nervous too because I had my portfolio with me and I wanted to show it to him. And I kind of chickened out at first. But I bought the stuff that he had because awesome. And then, but he was such a nice guy. I went back later and it was like, hey, if you're too busy. And he's like, no, sure. And he's so friendly and he's just very welcoming. But yeah, I definitely nerded out and fanboyed out when I first met him. That was cool.
Now, who have you not met that you would love to meet and fanboy out on?
Who have I not met? Oh, damn it. I've met damn near everybody, I think. That I know of.
Well, if no one alive, who would you have loved to have met that is no longer with us that you wish you could have?
Well, I mean, I'd have loved to have met Kirby. I think that's everybody's pretty much standard answers. Kirby, or those who never met Stan, which fortunately I was able to meet a few times. I would love to be able to sit and talk with Michael Turner again.
Yeah.
He was a genuinely nice guy and an amazing artist. You could tell with his work, the amount of passion he put into it. Not just his passion for art, but his passion for the ocean and, marine biology and stuff like that. I would really love to be able to talk to him again because he was pretty awesome.
He also set an art style standard.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Beer said, I can be roasted, no problem, but Philip Russell is buying Red Lobster. I told you that would come up. So I'm going to make it for him in December. And there is a Red Lobster right across the way. So the good news is it's a show that I don't have to clean up at, so I can actually go out and hang out with guys after.
Nice.
That's the one thing when I was doing the one-day show is I'm responsible for setting up and cleaning up everything. So I'm working for another 2-3 hours after you all leave, so I couldn't hang out with everybody. So that's going to change.
So Cheddar Bay biscuits for everybody.
Oh, yeah, not on me, but yeah. It's a $5 door. It ain't on me.
That's all right.
So with conventions, too, do you have a convention or two that stand out as favorites for you? Or
There's a few. I love New York. I love New York because it's the big show. You see everybody there. And let's be honest, it's the one that sets you up for the slow season, because after New York, things really die down. So it's really nice to have that big show there at the end of the season to carry you through, the holidays and stuff until shows start back up. I also love Emerald City. I love the atmosphere of that show. I love the city of Seattle. It's fantastic. I fell in love with it the first time I went out there. And that show is amazing. And I love, both of those happen to be Reed Pop shows. And Mike Negan is amazing. Definitely one of the best show promoters I've ever worked with. No offense, Phil. You're up there too. But
you only went to one of mine anyway, so
it'll be two soon. But
this one is small; it doesn't count.
Everything counts. Everything counts.
Yeah.
But Emerald City is awesome, and then I love Dragon Con, which the first time I went to that show, I hated it. I was like, "This show is terrible. There's nothing with comics here," and I just went as a fan, and I was like, "Rah!" And then a couple years later, I was like,
"Did you actually do that? That would have been like, ah."
I did. Yeah, I make that face a lot.
He does.
Yeah, but I went back as an artist, and that they actually increased the art room size quite a bit over the few years, and it's become one of my favorite shows because it's so diverse, because you get so many different people there. And I always make the joke, it's the one show where cosplayers actually buy stuff, because people are there and it's huge fans of everything is what's there, and Atlanta is a pretty good, host city for it too, because it's, their downtown area is nice and vast, and it just overtakes the whole, 4 or 5 city blocks or something like that. I think,
you can drive to it.
Yeah, and I can drive to it. Yeah, exactly.
I've been told that's a great con. It's on my list to go.
It's fun. It's fun,
Have you ever been to Heroes Con? Because all I hear is great things about Heroes in Baltimore.
I've been to Heroes a few times. I've been as a fan and as an artist. I enjoy it more as a fan than as an artist, because I feel like they definitely give preferential treatment.
Oh, really?
To people who have been there a lot and stuff like that. I mean,
I'd be their size, but I don't do that at my show.
Yeah, because I've signed up for their show before, as soon as sales went up, for tables, and I was still on the outside edge. I'm like, and they swear they work from the inside and go out, and I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Don't lie to me.
He's calling everybody out. Look
I
at
don't
this dude.
care. Yeah, she'll handle cleanup later.
Yeah,
that's why.
Exactly.
That's why you're the PR department.
Exactly.
But
hey, that's my name, Phil Russert, PR. Maybe that's I'm the PR department. There you go.
But I love Heroes Con though. Like I said, as a fan, it's really fun. It's very similar to your shows where it's all about comics.
Look
it's
at him.
Comics and art.
Compliment now.
Well, throw it in there. So that's really cool, because you see all your friends at that one, and stuff like that. And I've met a lot of good friends at that show, more than I think any other shows where I've developed the most friendships is through that one. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I should blame you. I met Veer through you, hanging out with you after Terrific.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's all on you.
I know. And
don't forget.
I'm going to have to say that Terrificon is my favorite, and he knows why.
Yeah? Why is that?
Because that's where she met me.
She's working on her sainthood. God bless her. I see the wings coming out now, a little halo star, and she's...
No. She stalked me. It wasn't the other way around.
Live show.
Well, I have to say, you've got that attitude, chicks dig me, they'll come to me. I mean, you're totally full of shit, but I know that's the persona you put on, so I'll take that. But meanwhile, you may act like that, but you'd be a total mess if she wasn't helping you.
You've seen me at shows without her. I am a total mess.
I know that. It's not the same. He looks like a sad puppy.
I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
He looks like a sad puppy. I'm like, man, I just want to buy him a meal and hug him or something.
I need a hug.
That's the general consensus, yes.
Yeah, well, a smart man knows the good woman that would be by his side.
Aww.
Oh, wow. Veer just said, hey. I think that's like Veer's. You know what? God forbid it's anytime soon, but when his day comes and he's passed, that's going to be his epitaph on his stone. It's going to say, hey, asshole.
Yep. It's going to happen.
And I'm not taking anybody to Red Lobster. I'll go with you, but I'm not taking anybody to Red Lobster. You all pay for yourselves. My ass is broke, 7 months out of work. But that's just me. Anyway.
No, not just you. Me too.
Well, you were always a starving artist.
I wasn't always starving, though.
I know. Trish would feed you.
Exactly. If you had her cooking, you would know why.
Well, if I had her cook, well, listen, at least she cooks healthy, so maybe I should ask her to cook for me. But I lost 40 pounds.
I'm available.
I lost 40 pounds over this pandemic, so I got to keep going.
That's
Absolutely.
nice, man.
But anyway, as far as conventions, do you have a standout convention moment? And it better be when you met her, otherwise she's going to kill you. But besides meeting her, do you have a standout convention moment?
A standout convention moment. Actually, you know what was really one really cool moment was we actually Trish was with me. We were in New Orleans and at the table and whatnot, and her name escapes me at the moment, but she was the witch on Supernatural. Help me out, babe.
Oh my gosh.
I don't watch the show.
Oh crap! And that's exactly the moment I was thinking of.
Well, anyway, when I come up with it, I'll shout it out at the wrong time. But she came
like
by.
Tourette's.
She was walking down the aisle and she stopped at our table and started looking at the stuff, and super sweet. Rose O'Connell.
Ruth Connell.
Right. Super sweet, and like we were like,
Rowena.
there you go. Super nice, and I was just like, oh my God. I kind of geeked out at a moment for a split second. I was like, can I take a picture of you looking at my stuff? And her little handler guy was like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. And she went, oh, and she picked up the portfolio and held it like towards me. She's like, oh, look at all this stuff. And she like smiled. I was like, yes.
She took a picture with me. It was a great moment. Yeah.
Yes. That was really fun. Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you have any commissions that stand out in your mind?
The most memorable one is the one that I'm still shocked I was given. Is somebody had me do a baby announcement for them, which, and when they asked me to do it, I was like, "Have you seen my art?
I do half skull face and half baby."
Yeah, I was like, I do creepy stuff, and you want me to do a soft? I was like, but they talked me into it. Actually, they were like, "No, we want you to do it," and I was like,
"Yeah, they talked you into it."
Yeah, they did. You could ask Trisha. I was like, I don't know if I want to do this and stuff. So
came out great.
But yeah, it was good. It was kind of like the dad husband was a big fan of Captain America, and the wife was a big fan of Wonder Woman. So we did them on either side, kind of just coming into the frame, and then a little baby in the background. And dad was a Thor fan as well. It was like a second favorite character, and mom loved Moon Knight, or vice versa. So the little baby was in the Moon Knight cape with the hoodie on and holding Thor's hammer. And I did some lettering on it for him and everything too. So, but they loved it, and I was like, that completely outside my normal realm of things that I do. But that's why it's definitely the most memorable.
Well, it's a lot nicer than fornicating panda bears.
Or fornicating octopuses. I've seen those too. They like to fornicate with trees.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that mermaid guy come to you? A couple of my guests have told me about this guy that goes from con to con, and he always has a mermaid theme, and they're really weird, but they're always mermaid themed.
I haven't had him yet.
All right, well, if you do, you gotta get a call and say, "Hey, dude, I got the mermaid guy." A friend of mine had somebody come up to him, and he said his theme was superheroines sneezing but sexy. What?
I'm like, how do you do a sexy sneeze? That's the exact opposite of what a sneeze is. So he had to do like Supergirl, and like she was hunched over, so you saw her skirt flapping up, and she was sneezing. I was just like, okay. It was like, whatever.
Weird. Sneeze harder.
It really does.
Wow, there's some strange people. Because we've had other guests talk about some crazy commissions, and some of them are really perverted, and they claim they turned them down, but Anyway, But I don't know how you bravely walk up to someone and say, "Hi, can you make an anime character, fornicating with a panda bear, please?" How do you like not feel weird asking that?
I have no idea. I forgot about this other one. There was one other one that I did. This guy asked us to do the Ninja Turtles, but each one of them doing an illicit drug.
Really?
Dead serious. Yep.
Wow.
I was like, okay. So like, I think we had Mikey was doing acid, and one of the guys was smoking pot. The other one was shooting up heroin. One had coke.
Lord.
Yeah, and they were sitting in their living room in the sewer doing this, and I was just like, oh, all right. Like, I don't show it, obviously. It's not a piece that I show off to people because I don't want them to think that that's the kind of crap I'm into. But I was like,
but it's the money's green.
Did you hear Kay?
To a point. To a point. I ain't doing certain things. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, we don't have to get into what you won't do.
It's not a lot. It's not a lot. But we've already gone. We all know I'll wear a dress.
Mermaid. So. Yeah. That's funny. So what happened to all the questions? We died out in the questions. Remember, you get some really nice art. I did have some questions from Dell that I had to overlook, but because we weren't ready for them. Oh, Steve asked a question. What is this? I have a huge love for inkers. As an inker, do you have a preference between inking pencilers that have a ton of pencil mileage, like a Finch? Oh, we went over this. Or a penciler that has minimal lines, but heavy on the finesse, like a Paul Smith. What style gives you the most joy to ink? I do think Paul Smith is a very underrated artist, by the way, too.
He is. But I would definitely go with Finch. I love the details. I love all the grit and all the the textures everywhere. That's where I have my fun. So that was why I really liked working with Paul Pelletier so much. Is he did all pencils, and if you look at it just at a glance, his pencils look like they're print ready. You could just go from there. But if you look closer, you're like, oh, okay, so this is a little loose and that's loose. And then you go look at the inks and they're like, oh, look at all the texture that's been added in and all the depth with the hair and this, that, whatever. So I prefer somebody who's got, all the details and all the lines everywhere and stuff like that.
That goes back to your 90s love, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Viewer said, no wonder Philip got grinded by Hercules. The man knows a good woman. He's calling me a woman.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. Veer, that one didn't make sense, buddy.
Listen, I take him with a grain of salt.
And a shot of tequila.
Yeah.
You boys need to play nice.
Love your Star Wars shirt, Keith said.
Thank you. It is awesome. It has all the sayings on it. All over the place.
So, being a big Star Wars fan, what do you think about the Disney trilogy? Because you don't hold back. Let's go. Let's hear it.
Back. You're right. So, the first one was a good movie, but it didn't do anything to develop the series because it really was a rehashing of A New Hope with Empire Strikes Back down ending. Right. The second film was a steaming pile of
just say it
all the way through. And I actually enjoyed the last one.
Really?
I liked it. There were some things here and there that I was like, we didn't need that. There were some plot holes that could have been filled. We could have heard more about. But overall, I actually enjoyed the movie, and I think it ended the series pretty well. But there was definitely a lot missing. Like, they could have spent more time on that last planet, explaining more of the Emperor stuff and what sounded like a whole bunch of people behind them.
It was a bunch of Sith worshippers.
Yeah, did all these people die? How come none of them are fleeing out of this thing as it's coming down? And so there's a lot of questions left. But
at what point do you stop shooting lightning that's going back at you? I don't know. I mean, the thing is, him being alive just totally negates the Chosen One storyline, which is the prequels, and I don't know, whatever. But my daughter, she's 8, and she was like, when he throws the saber over his shoulder, she goes, "Daddy, that's just dumb." I go, oh, I love this kid. And then she goes, why would Luke be like this, Daddy? He's the one who risked not being a Jedi to save his friends when they were. She doesn't always remember names, but she was talking about Cloud City.
Right.
And he sacrificed everything for them, and he didn't even know that Leia was his sister yet. So why would he turn his back now? I go, I don't know. Maybe you should go ask Rian Johnson because he sucks.
Yeah.
And then she's like, in Force Awakens, like Chewie just walked by Leia after Han was gone, Mommy or Daddy. Why the hell, wasn't he upset? Like, I have no idea. Yeah. And then the last one, I told her when she was like, all right, I'm going to watch it. And she saw the Emperor was the bad guy. She goes, oh, this is dumb. She's 8. She goes, this is dumb.
The Emperor actually does survive. Even in the comics, he survives. And it's
I know, it was the Dark Empire.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, I'm okay with that. But
Luke still defeats him, so it still was Luke, a descendant of Vader, that does it. Well, not Mrs. Mary Sue, that nothing, like she's badass out of nowhere with no training and can do everything. I mean, she lived on a desert planet and somehow could navigate those waters on a stupid skiff.
Fair enough.
She lives on a desert planet, man.
I like I said, there's quite a few plot holes, and I think if they would have just had freaking J.J. Abrams do all 3, then I think the third movie would have been a lot different, and it would have made a lot more sense too.
Agreed.
Because Rian Johnson just screwed the pooch on that.
More than the pooch.
He completely threw away half the storylines that JJ had set up.
Yep.
And so now we're like, what? And
I know, Knights of Ren and everything.
Yeah, no Knights of Ren. Snoke dies. We don't know anything about him. What the hell? Phasma too. And just like, y'all built these characters up and we got nothing from them.
I know.
That doesn't make any sense. So Rian, and the worst part about it is Disney went and gave Rian Johnson his own trilogy to do.
Well, that's what episode 8 was, to market his trilogy coming up. That's why I had the kid with the broom and everything.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, goody. We get to suffer through 3 more. Because, we have to go watch it because it's Star Wars. Damn it. But I'll tell you, it is the only movie I haven't bought.
Yeah.
I have them all, except for that one. I can't bring myself to buy it. Trilogy. Yeah.
Trish, I know you have to go, so I just want to say thanks for coming on. Your artwork looks fantastic, and I look forward to seeing the finished pieces. I want to see Libra. And
definitely
doing a great project together. The contrasting art styles look fantastic together, and you should definitely continue collaborating.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on. This was great. Thank you so much, Phil.
And keep him in line and keep him in check, and I will see you in December.
Yes, you will.
Yep.
Cool.
Thanks.
Good to see you.
Good night, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
So it was nice to have Trish on. She's really cool people.
Yep. You could tell she was getting uncomfortable there too, because she's like, "Oh, they're talking about all this nerd stuff. I don't know. I just watched the movies. I don't know."
Well, I mean, she came on to help you out and promote the work and to show what she was doing as well. And to be honest with you, she's, let's face it, she does a better job at marketing you than you do. But that's a typical artist thing. That's why artists get reps a lot, because you guys just want to draw. You want to create. You don't want to do that stuff.
Yeah.
That's not the fun stuff.
I got some friends like Daniel Govar, who is amazing at social media and marketing himself and everything. And I tried to emulate him, and I just can't keep up with it. I'm just like, I don't want to do it.
No, I get it. I mean, you'd rather be creative.
Crap, I forgot. I should have taken pictures of this as I was doing it, and I forgot to do that. And so, yeah, it's definitely... Tell me I'm lying. I'm
saying. And Peter had said, great show, KO, Trisha. Oh, also you, Philip.
All right, throw you in at the end there. Yeah. You're only the host. No big deal.
And JJ, well, I'm a host, but if I don't have quality guests, my show is nothing. They're not coming to see me. They're coming to see you. So I have, it should be that way. Right. Keith said that JJ said he was more of a Star Trek fan than Star Wars. But, people said he really crapped all over Star Trek. I loved what he did with it, to be honest with you.
I really enjoyed the Star Trek.
I thought it was intelligent, too, because you don't have to follow the continuity of years past. You could just start fresh. I think it was brilliant, and I liked it.
the first movie was it set up the new series perfectly.
I didn't care for the third one, but the two that J.J. Abrams did, I liked.
Yeah, those were really really well done.
So
the new take on the Khan storyline was definitely really, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, obviously, it's tough because you're taking a character that was well portrayed and loved by Ricardo Montalban, but I think he was on Fantasy Island at the time or something. So
Yeah, but I mean, it's Bendy Lick Cumbersnatch. I mean, he's amazing. Or however the hell you say his name.
Oh my god. I thought Sora with her 7 F-bombs was something to keep up with, but okay. Are you reading any current books?
Not really. I went into the shop recently and I picked up a few things. I might keep up with Strange Academy. That was a fun read. And I want to pick up Chris Bacalo's run on Deadpool when that comes out in trade. Because that's usually what I do. I'll just pick up a trade here and there and read that.
Are you reading any of the X-Men stuff?
I was reading. Which one was I reading? I think it was Blue. I was reading.
Oh, so you haven't seen any of the new Hickman stuff? No,
not yet. No, I'm way behind.
Don't.
Oh, okay.
Not if you like 90s X-Men.
Oh, okay.
You will hate this if you like 90s X-Men.
Oh, kind of like back when Morrison was doing X-Men.
I will say this. I don't think it's as bad as that. I think Grant Morrison is an excellent writer, albeit confusing, but I did not care for that run of X-Men at all.
No, I didn't either. I think Morrison's a fantastic writer if he's not writing superheroes. I think that's the problem.
I will agree with that.
When he starts writing superheroes, he starts throwing in all this random stuff, and you're just like, where's this coming from? You're throwing in characters we've never heard of.
He also writes like you're in his mind, or like something happened between issues that you're supposed to know happened. How could we?
Things start in the middle of a book, in the middle of a story, and you're just like, wait, what? So
I didn't start reading Hellions yet, but Keith and a few people told me that Hellions is the best mutant book right now, but it's only like 3 issues in, so I don't like what Hickman's doing. Again, another good writer. I just don't like what he's doing, and just the things that they're forcing. Kitty all of a sudden is kissing a female. It's like we're just taking characters after 50 years and changing everything up. I don't know why. I don't have an issue with sexuality, stuff like that per se. Although I just don't really read comics for that. But don't take a character and change them after 50 years. Like that's something that happens after 50 years.
Like Golden Age Green Lantern becoming homosexual, or Iceman becoming homosexual.
Well, at least the Golden Age Green Lantern, that was an alternate universe at least, so that didn't bother me. That didn't bother me. But Iceman, after 50 years and having girlfriends, having a crush on Jean Grey, and all of a sudden, not only did he come out as gay, but he needed Jean Grey to read his mind for him to come out as gay. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What?
I like if you want characters to be like that, then just create new characters.
Well, how about Northstar?
Yeah,
that made sense. It made sense with his character. He didn't have any girlfriends in the past. I didn't mind that. Yeah.
But if you're going to go and contradict, 40 years of history,
exactly.
But I'm with you too. At the same time, I'm like, I'm reading these stories. I don't need the political commentary or the social commentary of what's going on in the world today in my comics. I read comics to get away from all this crap, which is why I love the 80s and 90s books when it was just about fighting Magneto or, going against Thanos or the Brood or something, that's all I care about.
It's funny because the counter argument to that I hear is they were always the social climate at the time. And I agree. I don't mind drawing a story from the social climate, like, the Magneto and Xavier dynamic and things and race. And that was about racism and stuff.
Right.
But the thing is, they put it in a context of, look, this is what's going on, and they didn't force feed you what your opinion should be, who the villain is, who the good. Like, you formed your own opinions based on it. You decided what you want. They made Magneto after a while with great writing, gray area. He was, was he bad? Was he good? Was he both? Aren't we all?
Yeah.
I mean, don't we all screw up at some point and
Right.
say something stupid?
Exactly.
You know.
And they've done the same thing with Xavier and even Scott recently, in all the books and stuff like that.
Oh, they just made him an out bad guy, which pissed me off. But when he wasn't. And I think that's the thing is when you know what the writer's opinion on the subject is, I think it's bad writing. Present the situation in a way that I'll decide for myself as a reader, you decide for yourself as a reader, and we move on.
Yeah.
But when I'm reading what the writer is telling me, this is how I see it, this is how you should see it, I think that puts people off. I mean, it's just me.
No, I know I quit reading a lot of books a while back because they were getting too political and it was too in my face, and I was like I said, I read the comics to escape reality. I want bright, flashy costumes. I want bright, flashy superpowers, and I want them fighting a megalomaniac who's just trying to take over the world, or steal the new super suit, or I don't care, but make it fun. And they became way too serious
and dark. Yeah,
it took all the fun out.
Well, that's why we were talking about Rob Liefeld before, though. I actually appreciated what he looked to do at Major X because it was just fun fighting. It was just fighting. It was fight panels and action, and he's doing that with Snake Eyes now. And I think there's a need for that again. I mean, there's some good dark storylines, but I think we need to go back to that too. I think we need both.
I think it just needs the dark storylines just need to stick to certain realms. They need to stay where Punisher, Wolverine, X-Force. I liked it when they went dark with X-Force. That was awesome.
Right.
But like certain titles, but when Avengers gets dark like that, you're just like, when the X-Men, who are half bright colors and then all these powers, and all of a sudden it's all about all this other crap, and it's just wordy. I was like, man, it's too much. I just want to see some fighting. Let's go. Show me how cool your superpowers are. Throw Wolverine again.
Yeah, what happened to Fastball Special?
Exactly.
Well, when they made Jean Grey in a relationship with both Wolverine and Cyclops, kind of doing it with both of them, that just to me, and it, obviously I wasn't the hot stud growing up, but I liked that Slim got the girl. It wasn't Warren, who was the handsome billionaire or millionaire. Slim got the girl. The shy, lanky, quiet, unassuming guy got the girl. And then they had to make it, she likes the rough and tumble guy. Well, that's cliche because that's real life. Mm. I liked that, the nice guy got the girl for once, and they just throw that out the window. They did it with the love triangle with Submariner and Mr. Fantastic. And
it's Sue, yeah.
Yeah, that she had that animal attraction to him, even though she loved Reed. I hate that crap, to be honest with you. Yeah. I like faithful couples, but I guess there's no drama in that.
I tell you, I like Wolverine and Jean together, but I'm a huge Jean fan, and I can't stand Scott. So for me, I'm like, I like them together, but I really kind of, I can't tell if I like it or not, the Scott and Emma relationship. Like, sometimes I'm like, okay. Sometimes I'm like, what? Because she was the villain for so long. And now all of a sudden these two are in love with each other.
She was psychical. They were cheating psychically.
Yeah. You remember that issue?
That was Grant Morrison. Yeah. I give him credit for coming up with these original ideas. They're original, and that's cool in itself. But that doesn't mean I like the idea.
Congratulations, you had an original thought and an idea for the comic. You maybe should have kept it to yourself.
Yeah. Keith said, I miss those days. Yeah, Keith and I will talk about this all the time, going back to that stuff. But we could go on about that for a long time, and that probably would just piss people off and make them leave. So, which I think we've lost a few people because we went there. People are very sensitive, very polarized, and unfortunately, you can't have these conversations.
This is a fun conversation. We're not attacking any personal person. Don't get your panties in a twist.
Yeah, you just kind of negated the point you were trying to make when you say don't get your panties in a twist.
I didn't call out any particular person. Okay, I'm just saying. It's a joke. Look, we used to tell those before everyone got their feelings hurt. Yeah,
it's tough. It's tough. And I feel... I actually felt sad. Like, I don't connect to these characters that I grew up with anymore. that I loved. I mean, 9 years old, I picked up issues 115 with Sauron on the front,
Mm-hmm.
and 126 where they're all busting out. It's the wall and says Mutant X on the bottom with the Proteus.
Yeah.
And those are my two first issues off a News Rack and an Optimo, and I was in love with the X-Men. I was looking at Nightcrawler and Wolverine with claws swiping at a metal giant guy. I was like, this is like the most fantastical, awesome crap I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And this big pterodactyl guy in the background. It was just it's one of my favorite covers, and I love it.
I would say that I think you used the perfect word for it. Is that comics back then were fantastical, and you could see it from the cover. You're like, whoa, this is going to be an amazing story on here. And I think they've kind of lost that. Half the time the cover now has nothing to do with what's inside, and so looking at the cover and be like, oh, this looks really awesome, and you go inside and you're going, it's probably not the same artist anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
9 times out of 10. So you're going to be, have that shock when you open up the issue. And what you saw on the cover isn't even what's going on. You'd be lucky if all the characters that are on the cover are actually in the book.
That's true too.
So it's lost that fantastical magic that it used to have. Because I can remember, the first time I walked into a comic shop, I was like, look at all this stuff, and I picked up like a Moon Knight issue. I was like, wow,
And they weren't $5 an issue. You're a kid with a $5 allowance. You walked out with 25 books.
Yeah.
Now your kids aren't getting a $40 allowance.
I know.
And even if they were, you're picking up 8 books.
It surprises me. I can't believe how much they've gone up, because I remember buying them at 50 and 75 cents for a book, and then when it jumped up to $1.25, you're like, oh, all right, well, I can still get 10 books for $10. That's pretty good, except for like Moon Knight, which was always more than all the other books. But then it was like, now they're $1.50, now they're $2, now they're $2.25, now they're $3, and you're going, what the hell? So it's I
just came up with a great idea for you.
Oh, okay.
Your skull theme. Why don't you do Moon Knight at night, and either like the moon is shining on half his face and you see the skull under the hood, or like a lightning in the sky that's reflecting light and you see the skull under the hood. That'd be cool.
Well, that's not bad. I might do that. I had a Moon Knight idea of one to do. It was going to feature a skull idea, but it was going to be half the skull was going to be the bird, the raven, or the Isis, or whatever the bird is for Egyptian.
Oh, for Khonshu, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was going to do that, like half his face, that skull.
That'd be cool.
The rest of it. So that was my idea for that one.
But
I like that idea too. What's that?
The new Avengers storyline with Moon Knight isn't bad.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah,
I love Moon Knight. He's one of my favorite characters.
You might like it. It goes back to the Khonshu stuff, not him just being crazy, and you wonder if Khonshu's real or not.
Right.
It actually, Khonshu's involved, and Moon Knight actually they make him badass. So
yeah. All right.
And it's more mystical. It's more mystical too than just typical urban fighting. So
okay.
I'm not sure. It's 3 issues so far, and I don't know how long the story arc is.
Yeah.
So.
All right, that's cool. I'll definitely check that out. I love Moon Knight.
Are you open for commissions?
Yeah. Yep. Always.
Cool.
I mean, I got to finish yours. But...
I was just about to say that. You got to finish mine.
But dude, yeah, hey, you gave me a deadline.
Yesterday, man.
Yeah, and I would have had it done, but
I know. I'm just busting it.
But I'll have it for you at your show.
Cool.
Oh,
that's right. You can give it to me in person. Yeah, Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Actually, Veer I just finished Veer's long-standing commission.
Yeah.
For him, I think he just got it in the mail a couple days ago. So.
Cool.
But yeah, so I'm working through a few pieces. He'll have to show it to you on the sly.
Yeah, well, he normally does. He shows me, I'll get messages at 1 a.m. Look at this art, which is cool. I like it. It's fun. I like that he shares art. It's nice to have art friends that collect and you can hang out and show each other what you're doing. Yeah. And Veer is very passionate, so I like it. It's fun.
He's got a set, and I think it's 4 pieces, 3 or 4 pieces. Have you seen it?
I saw the pencils from Ricardo
Right.
Silva, right? But I
Yeah.
didn't see your inks on it.
I haven't started it yet. He hasn't given them to me yet. So
Oh.
I'm looking forward to that, though. That's going to be fun.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, I'd like to see that too. And I mean, I saw what you were doing on the jam that you have for me, which is right behind me. Actually, I don't know if we can. It's right behind my head, right here. It's got the Falcon and a bunch of guys. That's the one you're working on.
Yep.
I know they can't really see it from here, so I won't try. What advice would you give to any aspiring artists and/or inkers? Which I know inkers are artists, but
you know, if you're going as an artist, we'll start with that. You need to draw every day. You need to draw from life. Don't draw from comic books. Don't draw even from magazines or from the cartoons that you see or whatever. You need to go outside and you need to draw life. Go to the mall, draw the people walking around. Go to the park, draw the people walking around. Just, you need to draw from life. That is where you're going to find absolutely the most, you're going to gain the most skills from doing that. Yeah, perspective, you'll get foreshadowing, you get, all the stuff you need to do. That's how you get better quicker, is drawing from life. And you got to do it all the time. You can't stop. It's one of those skills that if you stop, you're going to get rusty. You're going to, lose a little bit of a step. If you take, when you take a day off, you take 2 days off, not a big deal, you're on vacation, whatever. But I mean, if you stop for a few weeks or a month or, I might pick it up again, you're going to find that you're behind where you were when you stopped. So you just, even if it's a little sketchbook, like I see, who is it? Kenneth Rocafort. He has a sketchbook that's the size of my phone, that he does all those sketches in. He does them every day. So it's not hard. Just do something every day and, just do a little sketch or something. Just always work on your craft. Always try to get better. You need to know it's going to take time. It is a long, hard road. And, a lot of guys don't get in. So you have to be okay knowing that you may not make it, that you may have to do it on your own. You have to do your own, independent stuff and never get to the big two. How many artists are there out in the world right now that would love to work for the big two, but none of us are right now.
Right.
Especially with, I think you and I were talking earlier, the DC has a bunch of layoffs and stuff. They just laid off a bunch of people. So, nobody's hiring artists right now. So if you want your art to be seen, you need to do it yourself. And having talked to different people and stuff like that, that's actually kind of the way to go to be noticed, is web comics and stuff. Show these people that you can do it consistently, that you can follow a deadline, your own deadline. You hold yourself accountable to producing high quality work on a regular basis. So, I mean, that's what editors are looking for when they go look to hire. They want to see somebody who can produce high quality work on a regular basis, not miss a deadline. So if you're doing a webcomic and your stuff is coming out twice a week, every Tuesday and Thursday, boom, boom, like clockwork, that's a good start. That shows that you can self-manage, that you can,
Nice.
Produce, without anyone hovering over you.
You're the first person to mention that. I think that's a great idea.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. Viewer apparently wasn't listening.
He just gets really
I already said that, Viewer.
Veer gets really excited.
He's doing something else and has us on in the background. You see how he treats his friends? Busted. Keith wanted to ask, did you collect the old Moon Knight comics?
Yes, I did. I have almost all of the first series. I have all of the big long run that ended with Stephen Platt's artwork.
I was just about to ask you about that. I think he's an awesome artist. I loved his Moon Knight.
Yeah, he was. Well, his Moon Knight was something like you'd never seen before. That was a completely style that no one had really thrown in yet. It was like Finch before Finch.
Right.
Is what he was.
Right.
He was like, it was
dynamic
that with, you throw in some Todd McFarlane and,
I can
stuff.
see that, yeah. I can see that, McFarlane Finch, yeah.
Yeah. And so it was super popular and appealing to the eye because it was big and it was just in your face. And yeah, so I have all that series. I think I have the next series, and then they started doing some weird stuff with numbering, and I lost track of.
Exactly.
I can't keep up. You keep renumbering books and rebooting books, and I don't know where I am anymore.
And then they had a series where they put him in a suit, and I heard that story was really good, but I didn't like the aesthetics of that suit because I think Moon Knight has one of the best costumes in all of comics.
Just white.
But when you put him in a white suit with the white mask, I don't know. But I heard it was good. I didn't read it. By the way,
I think I read some of it.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
I like the storyline. I read most of it. I think I got through the first trade paperback, and I had to still pick up the second one. But it was a pretty good storyline. It was definitely a mental story. It was all about his, inside. Is he dreaming all this? Is this really happening? What's reality? What's not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
The Finch run, he didn't write it. But...
Yeah, exactly. The other one I kind of liked was where he was in California, and all his multiple personalities he was focusing as Captain America, Wolverine, and Spider-Man. And I was like, that was a really cool take on it, and I enjoyed that because he would focus the Spider-Man, and his moves would be like that for a little while and stuff. So that was kind of an interesting take on the character as well.
I could see that, Keith, Barry Smith in the artwork.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Barry had lots of lines.
You know what was a really cool scene during the Finch run on Moon Knight? The Punisher was a guest star, and Punisher's down there shooting and killing all these gang guys, and Moon Knight's up on the rooftop watching, and Khonshu's there. And you don't know if Khonshu really exists or he's talking to himself.
Right.
And he goes, see, look at him. He honors his god. And he's like, what are you talking about? What god? And they show a close-up on the skull, the god of death. So I thought that was really cool. That was really cool. Yeah,
that's cool. I like when they add in, those little elements, things like that, Like, that the guy who created Punisher, that was not his original intent. He just thought, school would be cool, And they go, oh, let's interpret this a little more. Look, we can make this into that. And so I like it when they do, things like that. And you're like, oh, man, that's cool. So, Punisher, yeah.
So those little moments that set out. No, I agree, but that's just good writing, outside the box too. But I mean, he started
out without changing the history of the character or the character itself. It works. You still pay tribute to them without changing them.
And it's one thing if you try to do a natural change. Like hopefully we are all changing as people and growing as people and going through things. And as life goes on, we change a bit. We keep a core of who we are, but we change. But if it's not natural, it's forced, or you just, these writing teams, like when Claremont wrote for 17 years, there was continuity, there was consistency, and any growth that they had seemed natural.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you have a different writer after 6 issues or 12 issues, and now the writer's writing them the way they think they should be written, you're throwing that out the window. There's no natural progression.
I feel the same way when it comes to artists too. You get an artist works on 2 issues, and then you have a fill-in, and then you have 2 issues, and I'm just like, really? Why don't we bank some of these books first? Have this artist do 6 issues before you put it out there, so that he has, this gap, this cushion to work with, to get all the, another 6 issues out in time, so you can have him do a 12-issue run. Because
here's the proof: Ryan Stegman and Donny Cates right now on Venom.
Mm-hmm.
The book is on fire. Everybody loves it. Donny Cates is like the big writer right now. Ryan Stegman's a great artist. There's a creative team that's been together for more than 20 issues now.
Right.
Doesn't that tell you right there?
It's rare these days.
Right, but the book is successful, so it tells you.
Yeah, look at Ultimate Spider-Man. Bendis, Bagley, and T-Bear. Mm-hmm. They went for 100 and something issues, and that book kept its popularity pretty much that entire run,
right?
And I think that's what people like, Jim Lee was on X-Men for so long. That's what we looked for, and then when they did change it, they didn't give us a culture shock, they changed it. And who they brought in Kubert, who wasn't the same, but he was similar.
Yeah, and he was still
you know,
great.
still a lot of the kind of line work that we're used to. It's not like going from that to like I don't know.
Don't name anybody.
Well, no, I'm just gonna like a different
Totally
style.
different style, right? To
Yeah,
go, how about this? Not saying he's a bad artist, but Humberto Ramos is a more cartoony style. So if you went from Jim Lee to Ramos, it's culture shock.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Like I love Ramos, I love Lee, but to go from one to the other,
Right.
Like, from one is you're like, okay, hold on, I gotta, I'm not used to this.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that's kind of how it felt when Frank Quitelli took over X-Men for Morrison's run, is because before that was, who was before that?
Right after Morrison's run.
It was like Rainey or something, I think was on it beforehand. And then it went to Morrison's run, and all of a sudden you got Quitelli, and you're going, this is a weird X-Men style. I don't understand this.
Yeah, but, I know.
At least
and
me.
Frank Quitelli's art was different. Yeah. All the bubble jackets and stuff, which I didn't learn or grow to love, like to appreciate his work until All-Star Superman.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't think it fit the X-Men. He's an excellent artist, just didn't fit the X-Men for me.
Right.
And then all the secondary mutation stuff that got out of hand, and they just forgot about it. Like, what happened to the Beast's hooves?
Yeah. I was like, hasn't Beast have enough mutations as it is? I mean,
yeah, really. And the other thing is, you know what the problem with that one is that wasn't his mutation. It was an experiment that he did that turned him into originally a blue-gray Beast, and then he became a blue Beast. So how does a secondary mutation kick in now when that's not what? That wasn't due to his
mutation. Yeah.
It was weird.
And, there was only a couple characters that got secondary mutations, too.
I know.
That you can really think about. It was like him, Emma Frost.
An Angel.
And you're like, that's about it. What happened to everybody else?
You're right.
No,
you're right. And then there's like 5 billion mutants now, which totally took away from the whole point of it, I think. When you make so many mutants.
House of M is now irrelevant, because you added everybody back now and then some. And I guess they're now, aren't they like almost Inhumans, and them are like the same thing or something?
That was them attempting to, because they were trying to make the Inhumans fill in the role of the X-Men because they didn't have the rights to X-Men. They were trying to trash the X-Men. And so they tried to fill in by making the Inhumans the new mutants of the, and that failed miserably.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that.
What was Iceman's secondary mutation? Because they added to his powers, like he could melt into water and that stuff, which they got rid of. But that was still part of his power set, just to him learning how to use it better. He had a secondary.
Maybe the fact that he could
turn gay.
Wasn't he able to make copies of himself?
He's able to turn gay at the
drop of a hat.
Yeah, he did start making copies of himself that he can mentally control, which I thought was weird.
Yeah, so maybe that could be a secondary.
I didn't like that where he just makes an army of snowmen that are there. I don't know. When did he become multiple man? I whatever.
We had one multiple man. We don't need another.
Yeah, really. I didn't get it.
I liked it better when they did the storyline where he came over from Age of Apocalypse, and he was able to form and become that giant ice beast. And that was cool. I was like, wow, now he's using his real power. Then it shows that he should be one of the 12, most powerful mutants, because he can, go to the extreme on all that. So that was really cool.
And the melting in the water and coming back up into solid state. And just being able to, you could freeze your lungs with the moisture in your lungs or something, Yeah, they always underused him because he was the clown. He was the Jar Jar Binks of the X-Men, if you think about it, or C-3PO.
Yeah,
he was the comic relief.
Him and Beast, were kind of like played off each other a while, and then became him and Angel for a little while until Angel went. Archangel. But
again, Iceman was always that link. He was the one that was the goofball kid, and so
because he hung out with Spider-Man. And
his amazing friends. Still love that cartoon now. Oh, Peter's still with us. Great. He said Iceman joins forces with Olaf.
He loves warm hugs. I mean, what do you want?
Guys, I just want to remind you. Chris Matt is here. I thought that was your power, Philip. What was my power? Tell me, Chris. What is my power besides being charming and handsome and full of crap?
I mean, do you need anything else?
I'm telling you, and intelligent. Don't
It's
forget
like the trifecta.
Yeah. Don't forget the art prints that he's giving away, that 3-piece of all those Sith going at it in the Emperor's throne room. It's a beautiful piece, guys. More questions. We haven't had some questions in a while. I don't know if Dell fell asleep or what, but normally asks 300. And Trish is still texting Tony like, how long are you going to be on? It's been almost 2 hours.
Actually, I was going to pull up the art again.
Pull it
so
up.
You could see it.
Oh, my power's turning gate the job I had. Have you seen my wife? No. But if I was, Chris.
There we go.
Yeah, that's nice. Look at that. Those are 3 prints put together to make one big, nice mural, I guess you could say, that you can hang up on your wall. And again, he's giving it away for free to the person with the best question. So we're going to wrap things up in a few minutes. So throw your questions out. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
That's right.
And I don't mean that in the way that Chris would take it.
Yeah, don't. This is family friendly.
No, we threw that out the window a while ago, which I told you with you I would.
Fair enough.
With the people that I get, like Chris, was bad.
I've only had one F-bomb. I'd just like to say that. And that's impressive.
I was proud of you. I thought I was going to have to curb you a couple of times.
Yeah, only once. I did all right.
So Veers apparently got his feelings hurt. Now he's asking sarcastic questions. He's asking me a tech question because he knows I don't know anything at tech, and I'm always asking him.
And how do you enable automatic VPN port forwarding and PFC? You grow up. That's how you do it.
You go out and date a girl. Poor Veer. All right. So Keith asked, "Who was your first Star Wars action figure that you got as a child?"
My first, I think it was Vader.
Nice.
I think it was Vader. But the one I remember the most is Boba Fett, where the rocket actually came out. And I know that because I lost it. And
wasn't that the giveaway?
Yeah. And Yoda with the snake and the plastic, thing. Those are the 2 I remember the most from childhood. And I
just sold all those.
Oh, really? And I had the snow speeder. I love the snow speeder. And the speeder bike, you push the button and it pops apart.
Dude, awesome. I collected. I was collecting the Star Wars Black Series figures, the 6-inch. They now have a snow speeder to that scale.
Oh, really?
I gotta get that. Yeah, I'm like,
that's
Santa,
awesome.
Santa, I've been a good boy.
Please, Daddy, please.
Please, Father, please.
Can I have some more?
Yeah.
More Star Wars.
Yeah. Peter asked, "What are your favorite inking tools?"
My favorite inking tools is my Hunt 102 nib and quill. That's what I use. That is 90% of everything. If you don't know what that is, think back to your American history days. Those little things that they signed the Declaration of Independence with, where they had to dip it in the inkwell and then sign. That's what I use.
Feather, I thought.
Yeah, but it had a tip on the end that you could dip and write with. But that's what I use for probably 90%. The rest of it's brush work, but the brushes are used mostly for hair and to spot all the blacks in the piece and whatnot.
Do you do like digital?
No. If I do digital, it's just for cleanup. Afterwards, I'll clean up random spots or something like that or whatnot. But otherwise, everything's done by hand. And most of the cross hatching lately is done freehand. Nice. I haven't even used I don't use the French curves too much anymore. So
Veer said, "What are your thoughts on people who ink digitally?" He's trying to set you up, dude. Be careful.
Yeah, I know. I mean, if you can do it and it looks good, and you can actually bring something extra to the piece of art as a digital inker, then bravo to you. But personally, I can usually tell when someone is a digital inker versus a traditional inker.
Right.
And again, in my opinion, and I'm old school when it comes to this, I like the traditional inks better. I think there's more life to it. You get more
more organic.
It's more organic. Yeah, there's, I can draw a straight line, lots of them, and they'll be just about the same width all the way across. But there's always that little bit of, it goes maybe a little thinner here, or there's always a little something to it that makes it to it doesn't look so mechanical. And I haven't seen digital inkers be able to pull that off yet, to really get in there and make it look like it's been hand done and give it that life, that the randomness, I think is what I was trying to say. There's randomness to doing it by hand. So that's what I think of digital inkers.
Keith asked, have you met any of your comic book heroes at a con? You kind of touched upon that before, but
yeah, I got to meet Scott Williams, got to meet Joe Weems. He was another guy I really looked up to. Tim Townsend. I love Tim, but you can't ask Tim for advice really or critique, because Tim likes to be everybody's friend, and I've never seen Tim give a bad critique on anybody. So
he's gonna
as much as I love Tim and his work, I can't show Tim my work because this is great. Oh, this is fantastic. This is awesome.
You need Neil Adams. This is crap. You don't belong in the industry. Get lost.
And not to speak too ill of the dead, but Tommy Castillo was the same damn way.
Really?
Yeah, he was. He yelled at me on my review for stuff the penciler messed up.
Really?
I'm like, that's how he did it. He's like, well, you should fix it. That's your job. You need to fix everything. I'm like, no, he don't pay me enough to fix everything.
There's a fine line between tightening up some lines with your inks and changing the art that the artist drew.
Exactly.
You change the art, not only are you pissing off the artist, but you probably not get work again because nobody will want to work with you.
Yeah. He was like, that's not how I drew that. How do I know? He might have had it drawn that way for a certain way, so.
See, and, I had a conversation, I won't name who, but an artist friend of mine who's a well-known artist in the industry, I had a conversation, and I asked him, I said, where is the fine line between an inker being able to implement their style on something without taking away your style as an artist? And he looked at me, he goes, you can't. You can't. He said, honestly, inkers, he knows that inkers have ability. He goes, but if they start throwing in their own style, you're now putting your style on top of mine. How does that work? He said, it's one thing if an inker cleans up my style, tightens it up. If that's what you mean by his style, okay. But there are some inkers that they add and take away stuff. And I don't think that's a good idea.
No, the guy, I apprenticed under somebody for a little while, and did some ghost inking for them, and he was like that. He would completely take over. You can tell when he's the inker on somebody, and I don't think that's what an inker should be. I think if you're an inker, they shouldn't be able to pick your inks out, no matter who the artist is. They should be able to tell who the artist is. And if you and him work together, then be like, oh yeah, this is these guys together. You shouldn't be able to be like, oh, this is this inker. I wonder who the penciler is. Because you do so much to overdo it. And so I disagreed with his particular style of doing things like that. I pulled back more and try to let the penciler's art shine. And, depending on the penciler, I know what I can put extra love into and make my own. Right. And what they want me to, hey, follow my lines, type of thing, which is usually faces, follow my lines on the faces. Like I said, he liked what I did with hair. So I could do whatever I wanted with the hair and with the backgrounds and stuff like that, So.
Right. And, there is, you can add something to a piece without taking away from the artist.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But when you start changing the art, is what I mean, then I think you're running into a major issue. And Peter was saying that, when an inker does finishes, they get paid more. And yeah, but that's if they're acknowledging that you're getting paid, you're being a finisher, as opposed to someone just dumping it in your lap and saying, do it, clean it up. Steve Garcia is an animator. He's done like the Iron Giant and some other movies, and
cool.
He's a really, 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 really great guy. He did this hilarious video for me for my birthday yesterday. He's a great guy. What was the comic you have the most fond memories of, and had a huge impact on you as a kid? That when you see it at cons brings you right back to that time. Like for me, it was those 2 X-Men issues.
Right. I think a lot of it would be probably X-Men issues for me. I actually, I have a big soft spot for a storyline that a lot of people didn't like back in I think it was the early 90s, maybe the late 80s. Atlantis Attacks.
Yeah.
Ran through all the annuals.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the first storylines that I really kind of got into, and I liked it. I loved how it went through all the teams and all the different books, and everyone kind of got involved in their own way, but they were still separate. And
right.
And so when I see that, I'm like, oh man, that was the first big storyline I ever read, and looked forward to picking up at, each month or whatever. But as for like single issues, it's probably the one, my favorite cover is X-Men 152, I want to say. No, 252. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's the one where Wolverine's crucified on the X.
250. It's in the 200s.
Yeah, it's like 248. Maybe it's 248.
I think it's 240. Silvestri did that, didn't he?
Yeah, I love that cover. It's
Yeah.
my favorite cover. I love the book itself, the storyline in it, because it's all about, it's
not 248, but
I think it is 248 actually.
No, 248 I think is the one where Colossus is like looking shocked with his shirt off, and the other guys are on there. But it is around there. It might be 230s, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but that storyline was really good for me. He was captured. He's getting tortured, but at the same time, he's going through this mental. Is he going insane? He's reliving a bunch of stuff and his own inner demons. And at the end of the book, he literally rips his arm, off this X that he's crucified on, and there's Jubilee standing there, before him, and I was like, okay, Wolverine's a badass. I was like, that's. Yeah. Okay. Let's go. That's definitely a book that I have a lot of memories about. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, that book.
They've changed Wolverine too much.
Hey, remember when he didn't have a nose?
Yeah. Steve thinks it's 251.
251?
And he said Spider-Man 248, the kid who collects Spider-Man, it was his.
Nice.
And just going back to inking, Peter had said I always work with a pencil to give them what they want. But if a publisher asks different, well...
Yeah, I mean, I try to try to follow the penciler, because...
Yeah, but you guys get put in a bad spot, don't you?
I haven't been.
You could be, though. I mean, because you can have an editor saying, you know what, these pencils need to be this or that, I want you to add or take away. And then the artist, I've heard stories of this happen where the artist gets mad at the inker, and the inker's like, look, I'm just doing what the editor told me I need to do. I'm just doing my job too. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. It could definitely, and that's what happens, when there's not a lot of communication, between the parties. If the editor's not talking to everybody at one time, if he singles you out and is like, hey, I need you to da-da-da-da, and not tell the penciler that as well, that's an issue. These guys have to be able to talk to the whole team. I think at one time, the whole team needs to be involved in the emails and stuff, including the colorist, and maybe even the letterer at that point, because the letterer should, hey, this is important. This is an important element in the background. Don't cover this up, type of thing. So it comes down to communication, if the editors are communicating with everybody properly or not. And so, but if I haven't come across that situation, but if I did, I would go to my pencil and be like, okay, so look, I know you drew it like this, but the editor wants me to do this.
I think that'd be the smart
thing to do before I completely, go off the rails. If you want me to make a copy and do both versions, I can do that, type of thing. Because I don't care. I'm like, I want everybody to be happy. I especially want my penciler to be happy, because if he's happy, he's going to want to work with me more. you know, I want the editor to be happy because if he likes me, he'll give me more work. So it's, you know, you got to feed both mouths and be like, who
what
loves me?
editors
Come
were
on.
you dealing with?
I had, oh shoot, what was his name? It's been a while. I've been doing my own stuff for a little while now. I kind of forgot. Brian Cunningham, I think, was my main editor at DC. And I can't remember the other guys' names off the top of my head, but he was the guy I communicated with the most. But he was really cool. He was, you know, as long as we got our stuff done on time, he really didn't, you know, step in the way too much or anything like that. We didn't have, that I know of, we didn't have any pages that we had to go back and completely redo or anything like that. So that's how I've heard stories about that where, you know, you get halfway through the book and they're like, oh, we need to change the first 4 pages. Your deadline's it hasn't been extended, but we need to do, and you're like, wait, what?
I've heard that where I've heard people say they had 4 days or 5 days left in the deadline, and they were like, "Oh, I need you to rework these pages." I'm like, well, dude, it's 4 days to go. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, crazy.
The worst part about it is they'll ask you to do something like that, or you'll actually have a question. You're like, wait, what are we supposed to do? You know, with this here, you know, we come across something, and it happens on a weekend. I've never been able to get a hold of an editor on the weekend. You have to wait till Monday, California time, to get a hold of this editor, which is when your deadline is. And you're like, why can't I get a hold of you? You know, if we have a deadline, I should be able to get a hold of you right up until that time.
Because they don't have a deadline, you do.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I guess we'll just figure it out.
Do the best you can and pray to God. So that's funny.
So yeah, usually me and the penciler will work it out. We'll just be like, what do you think? I think it should be this. All right, let's do that then. Okay, fine. He's not responding, so the hell with him.
So have you ever thought of doing your own book, you know, yourself? I mean, I know you have the project with Trish right now, but what about like your own book, your own creative, your world or whatever?
I actually have two stories in my head. One I've actually started writing. It's been a while since I worked on it, but I have two. One is it's about a group of kids.
Careful if you're not copyrighted.
Yeah. It's about a group of kids, and they go on a mission that they don't expect that they're going to be. They're literally normal kids, and it's funny. Everyone in the book is named after people in my family, you know. Yeah. So like I'm a character, my brother's a character, my sister's a character.
That's cool.
Or at least their names. That's what I used. I'm like, you know, that's what I'm going to use, and then I kind of write them like they talk. So for me, it makes it easier because I know how they, you know, how people are and how they react, and so I can write it that way. So that's cool. And then I have another book. It's a comedy about the devil.
Okay.
So
that sounds like more up your alley.
Yeah.
Now, would you hire an editor, or would you have somebody, you know, that has editing ability to you know, review? Because you have there's a lot of little nuances people don't realize that you have to check for continuity. You know, not just dialogue and everything, but referencing past events. And
I'd probably, you know, just hire like someone to spot read it for me or spot edit it and see what they think. I know like Barbara Kessel does it, or she at least she used to. I don't know if she still does it or not, because my friend used her for one of his books. So probably do something like that, you know. And of course, you know, give it to my friends. Here, read this. Tell me if there's something that doesn't make sense, or if something contradicts something else, or something like that.
Right.
So I would do that. And then the other thing I got going on, which I'll be starting here probably right after Trish and I finish the
Zodiac
thing, is another friend of ours wants me to do the artwork for a tarot deck. So
sorry, for a what?
Tarot deck, tarot cards.
Oh,
tarot. She wants me to do all the artwork for a deck.
Oh, that's cool. I could see that. Nice. That's right up your alley too.
Yeah, so that'll be fun too, and that's a big project. So that'll probably take a while to do, but you know, working other stuff in between and whatnot. So.
But of course, the most important thing is my jam.
Exactly. That's the one with the gold star on the top.
Yeah. Actually, it'd be great to pick that up in December.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely have it for you by then.
Oh, I believe you. I have no reason not to.
That's true. I always deliver.
Yes,
Even if it's the day after the convention at a weird hotel parking lot in Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. After Las Vegas, you had the Nightcrawler Jam, and actually, I forgot to see if I can look that up. That would be great to look up. I think I have it here. While I'm doing that, let's see what do we got for no other questions from anybody. No other questions. Wow. All right. I guess everybody is set. I know I have this somewhere. I know I have it somewhere. Come on, damn it. Help me out. Help a brother out. I just oh, there's the Jedi inks. I think I got it.
Hey.
Oh no, that's the Jedi. Sorry, no, I need Nightcrawler. Oh damn it! You know what? I should have this ready. Oh wait, I do. Oh, those are the colors. Shoot, I don't have the inks.
How do you not have the inks?
I have it on my computer. I think it's on my other flash drive, which is not public now.
I got you.
Damn it. Well, yeah, that's right. I commissioned Livio Romandelli drew the Danger Room.
Mm-hmm.
I had 5 artists do the Nightcrawler. Whoops, what happened? Sorry about that. Do the Nightcrawler. Each one do a Nightcrawler jumping around. And then you had inked Todd Knock on it and a bunch of other guys. Yeah. And the whole background, and it came out fantastic. What I should have asked you to do, even though you hate him, is next to Xavier in the box, draw a little Cyclops in there, which I never had done.
I think I remember you mentioning that like afterwards. Oh,
yeah, but we were all heading out. We were heading back to Phoenix, and you were hitting a plane, right? You were going to go take a plane. So
no, I think I was going to my brother's house.
Okay.
Because he lives out there.
And we were staying at a B&B, and you met us in the parking lot the next day after the con was over. That's right.
Yeah. See the dedication I have for my fans right there. Hey,
well, it sparked a friendship that will last forever.
Oh.
So I'm going to ask. Yes, Keith, I said a bad word. I'm going to leave you with the question I ask all my guests.
All right.
If you could go back in time to your younger self when you were starting out, what advice would you give yourself?
Draw more. Draw more from life. I didn't do enough of it, and I started back doing it late, and I should have done it from the beginning. Should have done a lot of it, and that is exactly what I would tell myself. I did a lot of drawing from comics and stuff, and magazines, still images, and
right.
It doesn't. I mean, it helps you draw a great pinup, but it doesn't help you draw like comics and motion and stuff like that. So I would go back and tell myself to grab a sketch pad and keep drawing every day. You're gonna make it, but if you do this, you'll make it better. You'll be better than I am now. So that's definitely what I would say.
Okay. Veer had asked me to show what you're going to be inking. I can do that myself. I have it here digitally. Veer, he's doing the Superman and the Batman stuff, right?
And the Wonder Woman.
Yeah, so let's see. So we've got this.
Yep.
Right, this is one of them, right?
Yeah.
Silva is the artist. He's a phenomenal artist out of Brazil. Great guy. So there's that. Let me see if I can just switch to the next without... There's the Wonder Woman. Right, with Troy and Wonder Girl.
Yeah, that's a good one, too.
He does great backgrounds, Ricardo.
Yeah.
And then there's the Bat Family, right, with the Huntress. And then is that it?
I think there's one more.
Bat
Family,
there you go. Catwoman, Red Hood, Batgirl, and Red Robin. So, man, I'll flash them one more time. And they all tie together, so.
Yep. Yeah, that'll be a fun project, especially once it's all done and put together and everything. It should be a nice.
Sorry. Yeah, that's it.
Nice big set.
That's what she said.
I hope not.
Yeah. So look, thanks for coming on. I just want to remind everybody that Tony will be at the show on December 6th. If you're in the area, he'll have a lot of prints. You have some original work too, right? To bring. Come say hi to Tony. Come hang out at his table briefly. Wear your mask, and pick up some cool prints or some original art. Or get an inking commission. He'll do it, and he can mail it to you, or you send a digital file, and he can ink the blue line if you want to do that. But and if you aren't coming to the show, you can still just reach out to Tony at the bottom, or his Instagram and Facebook at Tony Kordos Inking. And if you go to www.tonykordosinking.com, you can see a lot of his prints and artwork that are on there if you want to purchase. But please support artists, especially during these times, and show Tony some love. So come on out and look at his website and what he's got going on. And him and I will determine the best question for those prints after the show, and I will announce the winner as I always do. And that's it.
Go. Hi, Chris. Chris Matt said hello.
Oh, I was going to say, wait a minute, what? Chris has been here for a while. You're only saying hi now?
Well,
I actually
he didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah, you might be my longest show with a guest.
Ah, look at that. Well, we get to BS and time just...
Yeah, well, hopefully you don't put anybody to sleep.
Well, true. Veer's still awake, I think. So
Veer was working on something. And it was very nice to have Trisha on. Thank you for being a part of this.
Yep.
I have nothing but great things to say. She's a lovely person, a great supporter, intelligent woman. Trish, if you want to put any links of yours, Trish is great with nutrition, and she has things going on with that. You should follow her pages if you really want some nutrition tips, if you're really looking to lose some weight, eat healthier, just cleanse yourself. Please follow Trisha Gracia Kallmeyer. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Gracia Kallmeyer.
Gracia Kallmeyer, sorry. On Instagram and Facebook. And again, Trisha, please drop it doesn't have to be comic related, whatever your business, like your nutrition and everything, please drop the links in the chat. Feel free. John, thanks for always coming out. I appreciate you being one of the regulars that comes to see the show. He said great work, Tony.
Thank you.
Is there. He's trying to work out some IT stuff while he has us in the background. So, we're secondary. See how
it happens. But, hey, I appreciate everybody watching, coming out, listening, all the questions and everything. That was awesome, you guys. Hopefully we'll be able to do this again sometime. See you guys in December over at Phil's show, because I'm going to be there, so you should be there too.
Absolutely. Dude, hang out backstage for a minute.
Yep.
Cool. Thanks for coming on, Tony. It was fun.
All right, man. Thanks, Phil.
All right. All right. Episode 24 is in a bag, and that was Tony Kordos. Fun guy, really cool to talk to. Trisha was a nice surprise to have on the show as well. I thank everybody who always comes out. My Rogues Gallery. There's so many names, but there's Dell, and there's Steve, and there's Keith, and there's Chris, and there's John, and there's Viraj, and everybody else that comes out to watch the show. We really appreciate it. I can't believe I'm going to say, but we're going to be our 25th episode on Friday. How quickly that goes by. I started off with Scott Hanna, an inker, and my 25th episode is with another big inker, Joe Rubenstein. So Joseph Rubenstein will be on Friday at 10 p.m., which is 7 p.m. Western Pacific time. Hi, Heather. Hope your show went well. So Joe Rubenstein, who's he's worked on the Infinity Gauntlet and all those other big books. He's obviously a big time inker in the industry, and he's a wonderful artist and painter. Will be our my guest Friday at 10 p.m. So please come on out. I'm hoping to do this weekend another Jam Piece episode. I don't know if I don't know if I'm doing one that Tony was affiliated with, but he would just ignore it and not look at it anyway. So he's nodding. Well, yeah. Anyway, in which case, come on out and look at some art. And finally, I just want to remind everybody about December 6th, the show. I will post more about it. But thanks for coming out and supporting everybody. Thanks for supporting the show. Thanks for supporting the artists. Thanks for asking questions and participating. We will announce a winner either later tonight or tomorrow. I will do a video announcing. Anyway, I will leave you with what I always leave you. Be legendary and have fun storming the castle.